Well, let's get stuck into a Friday night football. Calling the action, Dennis Kennedy.
Umpire Vazo bounces it down. Away we go. Henneman up very high. French a chance. Henneman slaps it forward. Teague over the football for the Blues. Down he goes. Crashing in. Solomon took him high. And immediately it's simmering.
James Hurd's picked up Lance Whitnell.
Teague towards half forward. Still inside the centre square. McGrath over the top. Still over the football. Somehow tunnelled it out. Kepler-Bradley in trouble at close quarters. Henneman missed it. Davies picks it up. Hand passes across to Stevens. Slick over the shoulder. Down goes Waite. Tackled by Bradley. And a ball up in the true centre-half forward position. No, it's a free kick.
He did well then not to fall into his back, Kepler-Bradley.
There's a bit going on. Solomon went in very hard. That was the reason for the ensuing scuffle.
Yeah, and one before that with Heath Scotland. So Solomon and Scotland will be a nice little sub-battle during the night. Mark taken there by Bradley.
Not another one.
Oh, yeah, get ready for it. Bradley, who was named the Norwich Rising... Sorry, take that back. The National Australia Bank Rising Star.
Good, nice correction, Edward.
Exactly. The National Australia Bank Rising Star. We'll get that right.
Solomon's lined up as a secondary centre half forward for the Bombers. A half forward line there. David Teague picking him up.
Ahmed Fahur will be all over us, Gary, the new head of the NAB.
Exactly. I think it's the NAB Rising Star if we want to get technical.
OK, well, that's 4, Gary. I think we're right.
Right, good, covered.
We've got it surrounded.
In the meantime, McPhee has a mortgage on the ball. And then runs in and out of trouble. Tries to square it up and does it well for left boot. The mark's been taken by Bolton. Bombers just trying to get inside the forward 60. Lucas quickly onto the left boot. He thumps it to the square. It's a long kick. It's a beautiful kick. It's a goal.
Well, I mean, as we said, Scott Lucas' ability to kick long goals is just... Last week against Melbourne, he bombed from outside 50 on a couple of occasions. His opponent tonight looks like being Digby Morale. He's just got to be aware of that. If Lucas is anywhere within 55 or 60, understand that he's going to have a ping at them, and that's just a magnificent finish. James Hurd's still in the back half for the first 10 minutes anyway, picking up Lance Whitnell, which is an intriguing matchup.
First goal of the night. I think an underrated player, Scott Lucas.
Yeah.
Week in, week out. Tries so hard for the Bombers. Rucks go at it. French knocked it down. Stolen away by Bolton. Kicks inside the forward 50. Teague knocks it to his own advantage. Solomon put him down. Teague over the football again and plenty of company. Came out Carazzo. Slips a hand pass away. And it bounces out of bounds. Let's go down to the dock. Oh, we got a free kick, Doc. Sorry. Continue.
It's a free kick, Dennis, but go back to that.
Go on, Pete. We won't let it interrupt you, mate. Go. You're more important in the game. Give it to us.
OK, now just Dean Rioli late withdrawal of the back problem, Ed, and Matty Allen's been dropped out. Tristan Cartledge, just keep an eye on him. Had a cartilage operation at the end of last season. First game for the Bombers tonight.
Tristan Cartledge, with a twisted cartilage, Dennis. As the ball goes forward, there he is, Fev, but he's got it up on centre wing. Over the top he goes to Camporelli, around the body under pressure, but he gets a bit of distance with the kick. Hurd up forward, couldn't quite, down back rather, couldn't hold the mark. It's picked up by Stevens, a high up and under, and Welsh goes back and takes the mark. Gary, we went through some possible lineups for the Bombers. How's it all panned out? We've got Hurd at the other end and Fletcher at full back.
Yeah, we've got Zantac with Favola, Fletcher playing centre half back on DeLuca, but Hurd on Whitnell's the wild card. I don't know how long he'll stay down there, but it's a big move.
All right, McVeigh almost pulled in the one hand, but did it beautifully off the ground. Now the Bombers can mount something. Up towards centre half forward. It's thumped away. In goes Koutoufidis over end the ball. Camporelli in trouble. He's gone. He dragged it back in. Was lucky to get away with it. Teague was the one who knocked the ball out. Trying to crash through with the ball there. For the Carlton side was Prendergast. Now they're on the go. Koutoufidis gets it out to Lappin from 52 metres. The kick was a beauty. And the mark has been taken by Adrian DeLuca, who has kicked 8 goals, 6 in his 23-game career so far. And a big one here for the Blues to get on the scoreboard.
I just want to add something to the James Hurd-Whitnell matchup, is that Trent Spawn is also trying to tag onto the back of James Hurd as well, because I think that's just about a match when you move. If you can get away, if you can thwart Whitnell and then be damaging moving forward off the half-back line, Whitnell won't chase him out.
Played the 22 games in his debut year and kicks a goal. DeLuca kicks a goal and it's all square.
And
now, Gary, the thing was, Spawn then will become the person that has to chase Hurd out when he's so creative coming forward. Now, that's great, but in essence, you've got two blokes trying to cover the one bloke who, in essence, is a backman.
Yeah, no, it makes it for a dangerous situation. So does this. Lappin is playing on Lovett Murray, an inexperienced forward, and Lappin's ability to go forward at the right time could be awfully dangerous for Essendon.
So it's a goal apiece, early going, opening term, Friday night football, round 2. Henneman, big leap. The ruckman effective there, off the ground. Kunafiti's down towards half forward.
They've swapped
at the base.
Hurd and Fletcher, so Hurd's gone to full back effectively now.
Fletcher, terrible kick. Camporelli pumps it back inside the 50, and Davies takes the mark. Well, 3 Bombers handled the football, none of them too effectively. McVeigh waiting at the base of the pack. Got the hand pass to Zantuck, to Fletcher, but the kick was very poor.
Davies lined up on the wing, started on the wing, just drifted forward with the play. Ramanaskas wasn't close enough. The danger is the preoccupation of trying to get James Hurd back to the last line, whether or not it impacts on your forward line setup. Right now, though, the Blues are in the box seat.
Justin Davies kicked 3 goals twice last season. Both times against Collingwood, round 7 and round 22. From 40 metres out, trying to bend it back. Hangs it out to the right.
Funny enough, that's exactly the direction he ran at. It was a perfectly straight kick.
Henneman in the ruck, got Bolton running with Koutafidis.
No real breeze here at the MCG, just the warm conditions. Long kick, look at that. Beautiful play, the Bombers on the run. Peveril around the body. Good vision, great vision. It's set nicely for McPhee. Solomon now to the open goal. All he has to do is kick it straight. He chipped it over the top. It was beautiful play. And this man, Damien Cupido, was he just having a quick look at the biceps then?
Look, hey, that bit of play there, they did this last week against Melbourne. It's a beautiful set play. Bang down the middle, the Fletcher kick. Play on as quick as you can.
Yep.
McPhee was the target last week as well, running wide, so he sets up out there. And from that point on, as a defender, your backside's hanging out.
Yeah, good play by Bolton. He was the one who took the mark. Now Cupido to put the Bombers back in front. Comes in, makes no mistake. Bombers by 5 points.
Essentially, the architect in that play is Fletcher. He's such a long kick of the footy. He spreads the zone. You know, he chips one short at some stage. And, you know, the zone comes in, and then he has the ability from the goal square. That ball has landed, what, 70 metres out from goal? So that's a 60-metre drop punt pass. So he's the one who orchestrates that play. Well done by all the other components within it.
Interesting thing too, the man on the wing gets behind the zone and just drops off. McPhee
just runs forward, doesn't he?
Yeah. 25 metres in the clear. Peveril out of the middle, sends it well inside the forward 50. Teague dropped the mark uncharacteristically. Lucas gets the bounce. Set down his bouncer for the second.
Now, you don't want to base a career on it, Dennis, but I'll back it in. Whenever a ball gets kicked end over end, if it hits the ground twice, the third bounce always pops up. One, oh, well, there you go, off the first one there. We've got the first one, so it's even broken the theory, but he just swung away from his opponent a bit quick.
Hard to read it off the pitch, Derb.
Oh, mate, very difficult. If they stay down long enough, they eventually pop up.
The first bounce?
Second normally.
Yep. So let's have a look at the bounce here.
Oh, one bounce.
You know what this tells you, though? Get it in quick, get it in long and straight, and you don't have to mark the footy lace out. Get a contest, something happens.
So Lucas has shown that Gary's theory works. He's had 2 quick kicks and kicked 2 big goals. In the meantime, the Blues get it out of the centre. Going high was Zantuck on that occasion. Shoved underneath the ball. DeLuca gets it out to Wade. A flying shot at the goal. Hits the post.
Oh, the Carlton boys were celebrating. They thought it was home.
No, they just enjoyed the point, Gary.
Well, they high-fived each other for a poster. Now, this watch the setup. Koutafidis has gone to Bolton now. He won't let that happen again down the middle of the ground.
There's no break further afield. He'll have to hold it here, James, and wait for something to unfold.
Hurt from right half back towards half forward. Teague over the top, intent on destruction. Two-fisted. Knocks it across the boundary line.
Good to have fullback kicking plans. The second kick's the most important. And that man there, McPhee, is the second kick target. They win the first kick and then he breaks hard into space as we have a look at some of the big matchups this evening.
Boundary throw in. Henneman and French battle hard. French knocks it down. Scotland spills out of there. Side footed about 10 metres by Stevens.
Thanks.
Out of bounds. Another throw in.
Intriguing down the other end. As soon as a player gets James Hird, they go to the goal square. So effectively you've got Hird playing on DeLuca at full back. Could have got odds for that at the start of the game.
Wonderful night for watching footy. Temperature still in the high 20s. Henneman. McPhee hacks it out of mid-air. Koutafidis runs onto it. Camporelli on the overlap. Probing kick inside the forward 50. Going back with the flight of it. Jason Johnson to the run of Hird. Goes up towards the wing, close to the boundary line. Henneman gets there and takes the mark. It was good all around. It was a good kick.
It was a beautiful kick. Just gave it enough lead and he didn't have much room to work with. That's all right.
Murphy made it look all right. The kick from Welsh down towards half forward, off hands. McGrath in trouble, head down, kept going. Johnson on the angle. McPhee spins out of trouble minus the football. They're going in very solidly. Stevens emerges with it. There he goes, flips the hand pass away. Teague and Stevens, the blonde hair bobbing like the main street in Helsinki. Prendergast inside the centre square, kicks inside the forward 50. Favola missed it. Working at the back, Whitnell. Favola deep in the pocket, pulls it back. About 10 metres in from the line, Davies, second attempt. Didn't reel it in. What's the umpire called? He's paid a free kick down there. And it's going to James Hird.
Yeah, against DeLuca for the first infringement. Out it comes to Peveril.
Got to say that
Marks has to stop and prop Doom.
Davies is really running away from Ramanascus. He just coughed that one up when he went over the top for the mark then, but he's really running Ramanascus around hard.
Nice kick from Peveril to Cupido onto Solomon on centre wing. Bombers just taking it forward.
Love it, Murray. One out against Lappin in the goal square. If he's going to win, get it in quick.
Lucas has got away again. He's cut back onto his right, then onto his left. Didn't quite see that one coming, but I tell you what, Teague's smother was an absolute ripper. Put the pressure right on him, then picked it up. Got it away. The running play here is McGrath. McGrath kicks up towards the centre wing position, and getting in the way was Fletcher. Those telescopic arms going up, and courage to boot, and he takes the mark. Mark so far, Essendon 20, Carlton 6. Make that 21, and that's the reason. They're just chipping it forward to a man in space. Solomon's kick was a beauty. Bolton at full stretch almost took the mark. Koutafidis pushed off the ball. Well played by Bolton. Lucas again dragged it in, then knocked it out. McGrath for Carlton. Good soccer skills. Gets it out. Lance. Nice play. Whitnell on the turn. Finds Lappin, who dashes and then disposes magnificently. Out it goes again. This time to DeLuca. DeLuca puts it out in front. The race is on here for Spawn. Bombers descend upon him. Zantuck's in there, Hird's in there as well. They hold it up and will have a bounce 45 metres out from Carlton's goal.
Now, he won't get spanked for it, but that kick by DeLuca, it was a pretty simple kick. There was no real bodily pressure on him. 20-metre chip pass. You do that at training week in, week out. They'd be lining up for goal had he hit the target.
Bounce 30 metres out from goal. Hird up high, hooks it down behind. Ramanascus fell over. Over the top, Spawn. On his knee is McPhee. Cleared the pack, Peveril. Long ball towards midfield. In front, Cupido. Didn't hang on. Found it on the deck. Lovett Murray running to space. The ball put in front of him. Confronted by Lappin. No easy task to get through. Norman cleverly. Down to Stevens. Lays it off. McGrath did well. Back it comes. Lappin. Wonderful player. Forward of the wing. Goes down towards half forward. Fixed him. Here's a chance now for Whitnell. Right on the 50. Comes back to Waite. Waite from 60 metres out there into the pocket. Just short of the man who stayed off the ball, I think, Davies. Let it bounce. Snaps and kicks a wonderful goal. Knew what he was doing.
I made the call about 2 minutes ago. He had a lot of space when that ball was kicked down in front of him too, guys. I just don't think that Adam Ramanascus, we know he's had some physical problems in the past with illness and shocking illness. And long term, he just cannot get into a full sprint on him there. Davies has really run him hard. And he bought himself 7 or 8 metres just through superior fitness there.
He looks flat, doesn't he? He looks a bit flat, Adam Ramanascus.
So Adam Manaskis shakes his head, and no wonder. Have a look at this. Justin Davies, who missed a set shot from 20 metres out directly in front, shows left foot boundary line snap. No problem at all.
The chase was less than aggressive, and Dermot's highlighted. He looked, Dennis, going half pace.
Well, it is pretty hot out there. We know he's had illness, but it's... I wonder if it's affecting him already, Adam Manaskis. We're only guessing, of course.
Well, Davies is running him very, very hard.
He is indeed. As Stevens kicks out to the forward 50. Chance again. DeLuca's been very, very busy, hasn't he? He's been great so far for Carlton. Goes with a short kick. That one wasn't so flash, and in the back it goes. Johnson will take the free kick. Jason Johnson for the push in the back from Davies.
He's chasing up to some suspicion that Dean Solomon might have been reported for rough play on David Teague. We'll confirm that.
Fletcher to Bradley. Bradley sets it up. Leave it, says Solomon, and takes the mark. Well left by Welsh. Good call. Fourth touch for Dean Solomon. Looking for Lucas, who gets to the front. Welsh ran to the next contest. That's good football. Takes it to the boundary line. We'll have a throw in. Half forward flank for Essendon. Let's have a look. This is the report for rough play.
That's the report. You need to have a look at where the ball was. Play with his head over the footy. That's always the dangerous situation. We'll have a few angles of that, I'm sure.
We will, and we'll have a look. At first blush, you'd think that was a too high free kick. Yeah,
well, they're paranoid about the head at the moment. That's the thing, but we need to have another look at it.
Ramanauskas to Lucas, right on the wing, pulls it back towards midfield. Camporelli confronted there by his opposite number, both 16s. Carrazzo, though, peels off from Bradley, goes to half forward. Whitnell catches them on the rebound. 55 out, loads up, loves it off the boot, straight through the middle.
Interesting when Dustin Fletcher got to him then, Gary, he didn't put the arms up because he had visions. You know, that's experience. He had visions. Yeah, it was. But he had visions that he would get sidestepped here in a certain goal. Watch, doesn't jump. He just says, well, you've got to be good enough to kick it from outside 50.
Yeah, and he was.
Yep.
Derm, I'm not sure the big switch around with Fletcher and Hurd trying to get on Whitnell and DeLuca's working.
Back-to-back goals for Carlton. They hit the front for the first time. It's a big comeback for the Blues.
A switch over down the back. You've also got young Bradley involved. They've got to be accountable, the Essendon defenders. Inside
50s, 11 Carlton, Essendon 5, because the Blues are doing well out of these centre breaks. And again, it comes out through Camporelli, gets it out to Waite, squeezes the kick. Didn't just lash away, look for a jumper. He's found Scotland. Scotland can look up and find somebody here, twisting and turning. He's found a bit of space. Now he kicks it inside 50, a one-on-one contest. Big DeLuca's got it again.
It can't work. You're playing this young bloke DeLuca, who's a nice mover and he's got some talent. He's going to be a good player, but you don't want to play James Hurd out of the goal square. I mean, I would have thought, a demoralising sight for an Essendon fan to see Hurd lose a one-on-one like that in the goal square. It's going to cost a goal.
Well, Scotland left Jason Johnson behind there, who's had trouble all through the summer with a hip injury, and DeLuca just too big and too strong for James Hurd. So two of the gun players for the Bombers beaten pointless there as DeLuca comes in and puts it through for a goal. 3 in a row to the Blues.
Well, Carlton 5-2 from the middle. Centre clearances put some pressure on any defence, but I'm not sure the defence of the Bombers is all that well structured. They would be over the moon. This is Carlton with DeLuca playing forward on James Hurd and kicking one goal for the game and dragging him back to the goal square, because it's just a contest that they would never have imagined happening, and they should go to him at every opportunity.
So Carlton now looking impressive. They lead by 8 points. 7.5 minutes out from quarter time. Henneman goes up, wins it decisively. Solomon, though, couldn't control it. Bounce back to French. Tackled front on by Pedro. Kudafiti's out of the middle. Kicks towards half forward. Taken by Fletcher. Hurriedly onto the boot. Sends it out towards the wing. Mark Johnson running out of space. Lappin tried to take him front on. Pushed off it, though. You saw what happened. Down he went. Johnson a bounce. Kicks inside the 50. Cupido. Cupido's marked about 35 metres out on quite a sharp angle.
Bit of bench pressure in Mark Johnson's actions there, wasn't there?
Strong, powerful.
Nothing untoward about that.
Great play. 6-2 out of the middle of the Blues, which makes it hard for leading forwards. But this is where Cupido's got to play. Out of the square, explosive, quick lead. Hope he gets hit on the chest.
He's got one. No easy kick from here. Not a bad effort.
Kick.
Fast across the face. The Bombers creep closer.
There's a young man, Tristan Cartledge, warming up for his first taste of footy, AFL style.
Stevens to Scotland. Scotland looking to give it off to Stevens running by, but Peverill has gone onto the tagging role there on Stevens. Pushing it back to Lappin. Free kick. Half-back flank for Carlton.
This is where the Blues will try and look inside here. Lappin loves to hit a target. He prefers to go short when he can.
He does exactly that. Carazzo steps around his opponent. Wanted it back Lappin. Carazzo did it well. Then the big kick forward. But look at that. Fletcher from behind had to sit and took a strong mark. Fifth disposal for Dustin Fletcher. Just had the ride on Lance. Out to McPhee. Has to mark this and does. Has players moving up forward. One of them is Lucas. That is ignored. Solomon now behind Natpack. Drops forward. That's ignored too.
A few players side on, but he'll have to thread the eye of the needle to get it there.
He'll have to do it from a play-on situation, and does. And does it well.
Cartledge, his first touch there.
So Tristan Cartledge from North Ballarat.
Yeah, 17-year-old he was when they got him number 28 in the draft.
McPhee up towards full forward. Johnson uses his body well. Here's a chance for Peverill over his shoulder too much. In fact, he's done. That's almost impossible to do. That was magnificent, except it wasn't what he wanted to do. Tony Jones on the boundary line.
Well, just on Tristan Cartledge, there was a bit of panic in the Cartledge family once he was picked to play tonight. His dad, Bruce, was up fishing with some mates at Lake Yukonburn. They couldn't get hold of him. They finally did this morning, and he's made the 10-hour drive down to be here to watch his son tonight.
But he can be an inconvenience. Johnson in front gets a hand pass away. Cupido, Solomon on the 50 now. It's going away from goal. McGrath wants a free kick and he's going to get it. Advantage won't be paid. Norman's scuttling away, but the ball is coming back to McGrath.
Hurd's now got for company Simon Wiggins, still playing at half-back. He's doing the job that a good mongrel dog should do, not a purebred. Needs to get in the middle and up forward, James Hurd.
Corey McGrath in the back pocket then, told to play on. Long kick up towards the wing. From behind, Bolton got a fist on it. Falls wide of the pack for Vola. Waited, taken down. Slips it across towards Davies. Into the path of Koutafidis, who socketed forward. French back to Koutafidis. Inside the centre square, just short of the target. Wiggins about 30 metres from goal, looking for Betts. Set him a tall task. On the ground there is Bradley. Betts has got the football. I think he was taken high. He was. And he's going to get the free kick.
Well, and the best thing is that whichever of these Carlton forwards go down there, it's against James Hurd, so they lead and they present and they make them accountable, and they are dangerous when they go forward.
If you actually looked at that replay again, well, his arms are in the vicinity, but he never actually touches over the shoulder.
From behind. It was a different angle, wasn't it?
Yeah, he never actually makes true contact or any contact with an over the shoulder.
Eddie Betts, first touch tonight, comes in. Not a bad way to start. Gets the goal. Carlton increased their margin. They've got the last 4 goals.
Then you get the ball in there, get a chance, Gaz. I know you love the direct kick more often than not to the front of the goal. Now, it wasn't a big, long thumping kick, but it went to Wiggins and it stayed in the corridor, and it's just a scrap out.
And some panic there, you know. Blokes get some panic. I reckon it's a soft in the end. You're right. It's a really good call. But you get it into that dangerous area and you get a lucky free kick like that. It's not kicking into the 50, it's kicking a goal.
Yep.
And no one at full back as Betts just floats it through. Wouldn't have mattered. He would have needed Simon Madden standing on top of Justin Madden.
The soft free kick, Ed, we have to say, having had another look at it.
It was a very soft free kick, and that was an extraordinary, ordinary bounce. No one bounced outside the circle for the ruckman.
Whitnell now back. Whitnell goes back for these last 4 or 5 minutes for the Blues into Essendon's forward line. This is where Hurd should follow him, make him accountable.
He'll get his run in there.
As Dennis said, kicked the last 4, the Blues. Chance for 5 as Favola has his first go at goal. He beats his man. He lines up. He kicks a shocker. And Fletcher got back on the line on that occasion. So Fev had his big opportunity there.
Poor kick, though. They really should have hit Brendan Lace out with that kick. No pressure again.
Ramanauskas from defensive 40 kicks up the line to McPhee. Good play by French in game 100. And the pressure forces the ball over the line pretty much on centre wing.
And we get a look at the young Tristan Cartledge comes over. Adrian Dodoro, the recruiting manager from Essendon. His notes a couple of years ago said young Cartledge could take a pack mark and pretty good on the ground for a bloke his size. And that was a 17-year-old, 19 years of age now.
French knocked it down. Bolton to McPhee. Gains about 15 metres effectively, as it turns out. The mark is taken by Murphy. A chip down towards half forward. Jason Johnson a long way from home, though. Hard against the boundary line.
Whitnell loose, Dennis floating where you expect him to kick this footy, so it's going to make life difficult.
Approaching quarter time. Lucas wider still if that's possible. Hard against the fence now. Pulls it back towards the middle. French missed the mark, goes after it with courage. Shouldn't have missed the mark, though. Lappin, Camporelli, surrounded Camporelli. That's poise. He was very cool. Drives it back towards the wing, but the finish not the equal of the earlier good work, and McPhee takes the mark.
So the Bombers wind up again. McPhee with his 8th disposal so far. As you can see, inside 2 minutes 10 now left in the quarter. Long kick towards Solomon. Hurd's gone forward. But Digby Morrell stretches with courage. Takes a strong mark. Brings it out to Lance Whitmore at the true centre half-back position. Lance with a thumping kick looks for his brother-in-arms up forward for Vola, who's all out of sorts at the moment. He's just got himself tangled up. Well, the turnover kick was a shocker, so Stevens has another go. Up towards Betts. Punched away by Ramanauskas over the line out of bounds for a throw in. Dr. Peter Larkins.
Yeah, just keep an eye on Scotty Lucas's right thumb tonight, Ded. Last weekend's game against Melbourne, he had a severe ligament injury. There was some discussion about whether he might need surgery. He's elected to play on. He got a pretty good start with his goals tonight.
Hurd off.
Well, the Carlton players determined to make Betts good overhead. Wiggins hand passed about 3 metres over his head, and that time Stevens kicked it where he had the jump, barely touched it. Fletcher hurriedly out of the congestion, coming across Zantuck, making his debut for the Bombers tonight. Left half back, looks up towards the wing, not much on offer. Running hard is Alvey, a led inclusion. It was good hard running, effectively kicked from half back too. Now Cartledge, the big man, goes down towards half forward, 60 metres out, sends it long down towards full forward. Can Lucas get to the contest? No. The man who's dropped back. Gary mentioned it.
Staggering how they let Lance Whitnell go and muck up a whole forward line by standing there on his own.
Short one to French. Teague is on for another short one. Well, Winderlick on the mark, the beneficiary of a terrible kick. Wonderful opportunity for Lucas to kick his third of the term, and he has.
Well, Digby Morrell, it just doesn't seem to have the stamina to go with Scotty Lucas. He's a little bit fleet of foot for him, but one of those occupation goals, Gaz. You hold the ball in there long enough, you've got it occupied in your forward line. All you need to do is win one kick. If you've got it inside forward 50 and you get a shot.
Winderlick, full credit to him. He stood the mark. Most players would probably go to sleep a bit, but he worked at it, jumped and smothered what was a poor kick. Barnaby French has made a couple of bad blues in the last minute. He dropped an easy mark, then kicked in the man the mark.
And also on the fact that Whitnell's gone back. Carlton are playing a 4-man forward line for the remaining few seconds of this quarter.
As Gary said, a couple of bad mistakes by Barnaby French in his 100th game, and the Bombers are back within 7 points. The Cuda, though, gets it forward. Ramanauskas with Betts. Betts keeps his feet. Was probably dragged to the ground there. Ramanauskas trying to get it out. Oh, he's in a lot of trouble. Just got it out. Camporelli gets the handball going. DeLuca picks it up. Does it nicely to Davies. Back to Camporelli. Not much on offer. Camporelli just trying to buy some time. Now he just kicks it high up in the air. Favola's underneath it. Couldn't quite get it. Now it spills out to DeLuca. Chance now for Simpson. He's grabbed without the ball. Surely didn't have the ball in the end. McPhee grabbed. Simpson in again. And in the end, we've got a stalemate with Winderlick at the bottom of the pack. We'll have a ball up.
He's trying to pick it up. They'll take it to ground.
There it is. Great first quarter of football from the MCG on Friday Night Football.
Looks a bit underdone. Ryan Houlihan also struggling with some treatment on the right knee in the first quarter.
Hurd back onto Whitnell at full back.
Carlton by 7 points. Scotland out of the middle. Sends them inside their forward 50. High bouncing ball. Wiggins cleverly, deftly down to Davies. Can he finish? Deserved a goal. just misses by less than a metre. Wiggins, very quick thinking.
Gary, I was just watching James Hird on Lance Whitnell as the ball came down there. His first reaction was to go to it, and Lance Whitnell had 15 metres on him. Had Davies been able to screw the ball around a bit further, which was almost impossible, Lance had the sit and was all gone.
Well,
would he know how to play fullback?
Well, he would, but DeLuca has marked on him, and also Wiggins should have marked on him by leading at the footy. It's not a natural, instinctive thing for someone like James Hird to play super, super tight.
That's a good switch there.
Ramanauskas got it from Zantuck. Kepler Bradley coming off 25 possessions last week. Back towards the middle. This is Welsh. Still on his defensive 50.
And this is where the centre-half forward needs to be productive. Solomon gives a lead from that position now.
Goes generally in that direction. Solomon won't get to the contest. Murphy hands to it, couldn't complete the mark. Pepperell. Solomon eventually finishes up with it though. Down towards the attacking 50 for the Bombers. Well, interesting. Morrell, premature elevation there. Back it comes to Lucas. That was very clever from Johnson. Well, Scott Lucas is kicking goals or being smothered tonight, and the ball's out of bounds.
Scott Lucas has had, I think, 7 kicks, 1 handball. His kick-to-handball ratio would be very, very high indeed. That's why you're a chance to get a smother.
That was a bit tough too. You said that he can't kick on his right.
He can, but not well.
I don't think he knows.
He knows he hasn't got a right leg.
Tossed it on the 50. Morrell got a fist to it. Carrazzo tracks it across the line.
Only there for balance.
Yes.
Now, Carlton, if they can win quick possession here, if they can win quick possession, the entire area through the centre square is wide open. They could bring it right around here and get a quick entry into their forward 50. And it could be very dangerous here for them.
Scotland under pressure, got it out. Morrell, Stevens.
Go the other way.
He has switched
There
it
it
across.
is.
Beautiful kick to Carrazzo, and on again to Scotland in the white boots. Lovely kick forward, just pitches in front of DeLuca, who was clobbered, gets one for in the back. Just a bit overexcited there, Kepler Bradley, so DeLuca has it. Lance wants it. It's going to be Lance versus Hird. The kick, though, hasn't got enough on it, or has it? Just made it over the top. Here's Betts, front and square, around the corner he goes. And he misses. Too much on it. But he's exciting. Eddie Betts.
I don't think he's quite up to Aaron Davies' standard at the similar part of his career, but you just feel like something's going to happen every time he gets near it, Eddie Betts.
This is Welsh, right half back. Along the wing, Bolton. They're very good at moving the ball end to end after a behind. Bolton goes long down towards full forward. Lap them up very early. How do they call this one? It's going to be a free kick to Mark
He was
Johnson.
standing his ground, you rubbed all over him on an early lead. Yeah, but it doesn't matter, you took an early lead.
And there's an argument as he tunnelled on.
Mark's here.
Well, he said he jumped early without looking at the ball, and you've gone all over him.
Had he not jumped, he might have been a chance, Lappin, to get a free kick for Johnson shepherding.
Yeah, this was thinking whether he tunnelled him, put him under the ball.
Mark Johnson right full forward then. Right behind it. As you saw, off the boot. No chance. Misses to the right. Essendon hitting some goals and not looking dangerous at the moment, with the exception of Scott Lucas on the forward line.
Stevens to bring the ball in from fullback for Carlton. Oh, lovely kick. Look at that. To Teague. Breaks the tackle. Favola leads forward. At the back, though, a beautiful mark being taken by Simon Wiggins.
Well, he really goes to Hird, but Flex has got to go to him now.
Lappin did it beautifully. Oh, well done, Ramanauskas. Lappin turned McVeigh inside out. Ramanauskas was quick enough to get across and then really put his body on the line. Flicked the ball out. Elvey to Johnson. Mark Johnson did it well. Next kick important. It was a beauty to Solomon, who takes it on his chest.
Mark Johnson must feel pretty confident every time Lappin runs at him.
Solomon, Bolton, Cupido finding some space, running around in circles. He dishes it off. Solomon takes on Stevens. Back to Cupido. That's in trouble. He's gone. That's in trouble. Umpire says you've dropped the ball. Gone.
Well, they have McPhee on Carrazzo in the goal square. Wouldn't be a bad option, whacking it in quick and long.
Now the Blues are away. Stevens out to Digby Morrell. Digby holds it up, not much on. Davies leads short. Now DeLuca runs for centre forward. He ignores that. He wants Big Fev. Up he goes, under pressure. Good play by Zantuck. Betts went at the ball. Ramanauskas picked his pocket again. Essendon in big trouble here, though. Welsh flicks it over the top. That's good play. Murphy had it and dropped it. Unlucky the Blues not to get a free kick. Maybe one for a too high there as well. Umpire will bounce. And a bit of push and shove, Zantuck and Camporelli. No love lost there.
Thanks.
Zantuck likes the physical stuff. Ball up, 55 out.
Margin 8 points. Cartledge knocked it down. Welsh out of the congestion. Finds the chest of Peverill. Peverill from half back towards the middle. Kepler Bradley across the ground. Fletcher meters in the clear, cruising past his Hurd. You see Whitnell chasing Hurd but directing a teammate to pick him up. That was well done. Now he works the mark.
Well responded by Lappin, Dennis, who was that player.
Yeah, that'll keep the weight down. That sort of jig on the mark. Bolton goes wide.
If he can get to him.
Welsh with the left boot. Peverill's got it now. Well spotted Durr. And the big man lumbers down Cartledge. The kick not too good. It wanders across half forward. Coming up is Johnson. And two Carlton players got him, and the call is held to him. We'll have a ball up 15 minutes out from half time. Carlton 34. Essendon 26.
One of the wonderful things you love about Mark Johnson, when he gets the ball there, as we see Norman come to the bench, he actually says, if you want it, you have to dispossess me. I'm going to force an action out of you. You must come and tackle me.
So Norman without a touch comes off, Spawn on. And we'll have another bounce.
It's not you, Barnesy, is it?
Corey McGrath.
Yeah. Go away, mate. Go away.
Run off, Barnesy. We've seen enough here. McGrath running with McPhee now. Had Prendergast early. Now get out of McPhee.
Arms up, arms up, arms up.
Well done by the umpire, spotting Barnesy and telling him to get out.
His ankles there.
Not hard.
Bit stiff. He slipped down on the tackle, I think, from the initial grab. Now, this is not an easy shot. Most league footballers bury these. You see the tackle goes to from there and it slides down to the ankles thereafter from, I think that's Ian Prendergast on the mark. So a tough kick for Peverill.
Peverill lining up. He's only kicked 17 goals in his 78 games.
Good effort.
Well, now he's kicked 18.
That took his best, Gaz.
He did. It's so much so he ended up on his backside.
Didn't stick the landing.
No, he didn't. But he's not a noted goal kicker, but he's a good trier. He's a good goer. Has claimed some big scalps. He's got a big job again tonight with Nick Stevens.
I don't know if Carlton have got another gear from this, from their good footy they're already playing, and it's level peggings.
So the margin just 2 points.
Have a look at the goal-kicking action of Damien Peverill.
Have a look at the finishing action.
Yeah.
I like it.
Hard to teach.
Yeah. That's like the, well, they changed the long jump, didn't they, Dennis? So entry into the sand pit and end up on your bottom.
You got to reach the pit.
Yeah.
DeLuca's in there, knocks it out. Davies, Prendergast at the second attempt did well. McGrath floats one well inside the forward 50. James Hurd goes up and takes the mark. That's better. Needs his confidence restored. Lovely kick coming out to the wing. Peverill's got the run of it. And then he got the last goal. Chips towards right half forward. Solomon good in the hands, particularly considering the quality of the opposition. Then the head scissors to finish the move.
You liked that term, didn't you?
Oh, love it. Love it. You've got to be doing that sort of stuff. Now, Whitnell will be advised to go back now. They really need to just put up the shutters here. There is just a mini burst about to happen for the Bombers here.
Solomon's kick not particularly effective. Morrell took a while. Stevens could have been taken high. He was. Will advantage be paid? No, it's coming back. So Stevens deep in his own defensive area to Scotland. Swings it wide for Bowler a long way up the ground. Hurd once more. Good tackle for Bowler. Jan out of there. Zantuck kept it alive. Hurd crisply gets it across to Welsh, having to stretch. Peverill 65 metres out. Long to full forward. It's turned the defence around. Johnson dropped the centre. DeLuca's got him. Boot to ball. He may still kick it. He has. Well, how about that? It was like a Bombay bus. They were hanging off him in all directions, and somehow he got boot to ball.
He was like at first slip, Dennis, and he couldn't work out whether to point the fingers down or point the fingers up. He just didn't know how to take that ball there, whether it's a chest marker in the hands, but just had the feeling there was a mini run about to start here for the Bombers, and Lance Whitnell, who was able to quell the fire so often, he'd be advised now to go down and swell the numbers in the back line.
Bombers back in front for the first time since the 16-minute mark of the first quarter. Mark Johnson likes to do it the tough way.
I think he was Mr. Sunbury, Ed. He's fixed up a lapping, and then he just stood up in the Prendergast tackle, just willed himself to get boot on ball.
How about this? Andrew Welsh has had 7 disposals in 8 minutes in this quarter. He is really helping the Bombers take it to Carlton. They've kicked the last 3 goals of the game. The Bombers through Lucas, and 2 goals this quarter to Peveril and Johnson. Now they're starting to get their act together.
Well, they're double teaming Fletcher and Hurd. Start on Whitnell and stay there until this happens.
And away he goes. James Hurd, welcome to the game. Big mark before, just got the confidence up, as Dennis said. McVeigh front and square. Good play by Scotland. Got the ball working out. Now it ends up with Peveril at half-back, with Favola at half-back, who kicks it up towards Camporelli. Good play by Fletcher, twisting and turning, wants to give it off to Murphy. Gets a bad bounce. Carazzo on hands and knees. Did it well out to Camporelli. Now Carlton have to reply. The kick up for DeLuca. Oh, he did well. Put himself into the contest. Big Lance goes for the bounce. It bounces the wrong way and through for a point.
Well, this is a dangerous kick in here. The Bombers have displayed so far in this match. They've been able to take the ball from one end of the ground to the other. They're going to do it straight away here. They've got a break on out the other side. Romanaskas can kick it long. They'll get right up to the wing at least here. Oh, it's come back in.
Welsh, Romanaskas. Here we go again, Durham. Call it. Welsh runs it up towards half-back, goes to the wing. You are a genius. On the lead, Johnson takes the mark.
He's been great, Mark Johnson. He is presenting, working hard, winning the footy.
Goes for distance. Cupido coming up to meet it. Won't get there. Awkward bounce. Stevens gets back under no pressure. Looping hand pass. Davies. They need to be careful. Spawn has it. Looks towards the middle. Teague settles. Goes for it. Couldn't complete the mark. He tried the prop, but Murphy did very well. Came across on the angle. Finished up with the football. Teague's second effort brought him down.
Did Teague try and control the ball to his spare Carlton man then, hence the play on call.
Bit of Fedes and Henneman having a bit of a push off the ball. Oh, Camporelli walks through the traffic. Houlihan's kick was smothered. Spills out wide to Winderlick. Good play by Stevens. Had the stretch. Peveril dives on top. That's dangerous. Knocked it out quickly. Did it well out to Murphy. Over to McVeigh. Nice evasion. Now he kicks inside 50. Lucas! Did he hold enough of it? He's got that dodgy thumb, as Dr. Peter Larkin said. The kick from the boundary line will come back, and Lucas will take his kick from inside 50. He's already kicked one tonight from 60 metres out. As Lou Richards would say, he's on the right side for a left footer, because he'll open up the angle. And did he get enough of this?
Yep, no worries about that.
He held it long enough in slow motion for sure.
He won't die wondering, Scott Lucas, from here either.
Did get through that thumb though, there's no doubt about it. But Scott Lucas, who has already kicked tonight 3 goals in that first term. Big one for the Bombers. As I said, they've kicked the last 3 of the game. Off 2 steps, he comes in and absolutely splits the middle. That is a beautiful kick. He has 4.
That is a fantastic kick. 4 goals, and we're only, into the second quarter. Just a beautiful conversion. No wonder his teammates don't lead when he gets it. Why would you when you can kick like this?
They just need to hang on here, the Blues. You can't have any more goals scored against you if you're Carlton. You're not going to kick 18 against Essendon tonight, so you don't want to let this game get to a 12-game margin half-time.
Remarkable transformation in this game. Carlton seemed to be cruising about 10 minutes ago. It's happened, and it's happened quickly. The Bombers in control. McPhee got it from Bolton, kicked it straight up in the air. Jason Johnson a half chance. Favola dug it out. Carazzo into the path of Lappin. In the back was it? No. Henneman beaten by Lappin. Davies, Carazzo forward of the wing. High ball down towards half forward. It pitches just inside the boundary and goes out in front of Wiggins.
Now what they've done is they've made sure that Essendon can't have a free man. Their inside 50s were ineffectual because it was either Hurd or Fletcher who were loose. Now Hurd's accountable with Whitnell. DeLuca's gone and made sure that Fletcher's manned him up, and at least they get a one-on-one contest.
Marks in this term, Essendon 21, Carlton 4. Saw the replay. I don't think it was a free kick simply because Lappin, as he made contact, took the ball cleanly. Didn't juggle it, just took it cleanly in his hands. Jason Johnson collides with Houlihan. It's out of bounds once more. Under 10 minutes till half-time.
Norman has now got the job on Scott Lucas. Big Diggers has been relieved of that.
Carlton led by 7 points at quarter time. Interesting stat. DeLuca and Henneman. DeLuca easily, but to no one in particular. Didn't take full advantage there. Just directed it down, and McVeigh was standing at his feet. So we've got a bounce on the wing.
Just on that again, DeLuca taking this ruck contest means that Fletcher drops back once again and double teams Lance Whitnell. Makes it hard for Carlton to score.
Henneman stands his ground, did it well, but it's picked up by weight. Still 25 degrees, by the way, boys. That's gone. That was a magnificent tackle. What a great tackle. Great strength by Henneman. Aaron Henneman. Daisy cutter to Solomon, who keeps on presenting. Out to Ramanaskus, who kicked it before he had it. Now he slams it onto the boot up towards the forward 30 mark. Off hands, Johnson tries to crash through. Gets the handball out. No, he threw it, said the umpire. One hand. Advantage is paid. Oh, Carlton in trouble here. Only for the poise of Camporelli, who looked like he was about to be cleaned up. And in the meantime, he's run 50 metres up the ground and disposed of it beautifully. Now running in is Wiggins. Wiggins looks for Pavola. And Big Brendan, who's muffed a couple of chances tonight, needs to kick this one for the Blues.
I reckon Dermy's been a long way from the goal scorer. I know they've wanted to push him up and make him play a different role, but he should also spend some time, you think, out of the goal square where he does this so well. Presents, marks and kicks.
He's probably got his, he's got a range of about 60 metres. We look at his accuracy here from just kicking outside the 50-metre arc there, relatively in front, 72%. I mean, that's a great conversion.
Say that again, 28 goals, 11. Now, as you can see that, 9 to the left, 2 to the right, but 28 right through the middle. That's what Dennis Pagan needs right here. For Brendan Pavola to kick his 199th career goal.
Getting real close.
Well, against the odds, he sprays it to the right-hand side. His right-hand side, it's a point.
He got in close to Zantuck on the marking.
Like he and Neitz, even from Melbourne, they're confidence players. When they're up and about, they're as good a kick as anyone in the competition. When they're perhaps not winning as much of it.
Bombers doing well from these set plays from full back.
And every one of them, Ed, has hugged the boundary on the outward bound journey.
Welsh to Ramanaskus. Kuta, by the way, hasn't had a touch this term. McPhee has ended up with most of them from the kickouts. Henneman again, up to the forward 50. Bolton.
That's Kuta's man.
On his chest.
He's one of the fittest blokes, if not the fittest bloke at Essendon, and he is covering some kilometres on Kuta.
Bolton from 65 metres out, then long towards full forward. 3 Carlton players up in front. Look at Pavola deep in defence, and the ball's out of bounds in the pocket. Kevin Sheedy would be delighted with this term. Coached his first game against Carlton, round 10 of 1981. Essendon won by 35 points. 1981. What staying power. He's seen it all before. Loves this sort of contest. His team playing well at the moment. Solomon hasn't got the football. Spawn tries to knock it out of there. Oops. I think it's Monfrey's over the ball, but he's not going anywhere. We've got a whistle. Umpire Vozzo wants it.
Solomon and Mark Johnson have given what was an impotent forward line last week a bit of bite and a bit of presence. Solomon presenting really well at half forward, and Johnson just hard at it. Umpire
Vozzo enjoying himself out there, having plenty to say to the players as it comes out to Norman. Goes for the white line and finds it. We'll have a throw in.
Well, now Hurd and Whitnell, Hurdy's got Whitnell where he wants him, which is up around the half forward line for Carlton. Means he can run and be a bit more creative. It's when he gets down the last line where he becomes relatively ineffectual.
Just over 6 3/4 minutes left in this first half of football. An enthralling contest, ebbing and flowing. Johnson stamping his authority on the game, crashes through, gets a boot on the ball. Out it goes towards McVeigh over the line and out of bounds. Scotland upends the young player there in Angus Monfries. Welcome to the big time, he says. We'll have another throw in.
Mark Johnson is the master of kicking while pillion passengers on board, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a strong bloke.
Always somebody there.
But he forces an action out of you, Dennis. Yeah. He says, if you don't tackle me, I'll run closer.
Carazzo. Solomon arrived in ill humour. Well, he had a chance according to the umpire. I would have thought none. He
cocked the handball.
Well, he was going to hand pass, but he was tackled by a blur. McPhee could have got a free kick. He's not going to get one. I think he will.
Well, that's the matchup that we called earlier in this quarter. McPhee against McGrath is a decided advantage. Get it in quick. That's not the free, it's that one right there.
That's the one.
Against McGrath. And he's got a big height advantage and he's a good jump.
Well, I still think Carrazzo was stiff for the initial free kick.
In that marking contest?
No, early on, the one that got the ball
holding the ball.
For holding the ball.
Adam McPhee grew up barracking for Geelong, but his football idols were Gary Ablett, fair enough, and Anthony Koutafidis sharing the paddock tonight. Paddock, MCG, the hallowed turf. McPhee get in front, increases the Bomber lead, getting dangerous for the Blues.
It wasn't that negative 5 or 6 minutes ago when I thought that Lance should have probably pushed down and taken a couple with him to try and stop. They've kicked about 4 since then. You just this game, you just get so many runs in it, and you just know that Essendon are a tail-up type side. They look dangerous, and now they've piled on. Gee.
Essendon have kicked the last 5 goals of the game. Lucas at the 28-minute mark of the first term, and then Peveril at the 7-minute mark, Johnson at the 10-minute mark, Lucas at the 13.5, and McPhee at the 21-minute mark. Do they need one? The Blues, that is. Up towards Wiggins, the kick from Stevens. Couldn't quite get it there. Good play by Favola and Koutafidis. Now the handball comes in from Simpson. They desperately need the goal.
Good defense.
French stood and waited on that occasion. Simpson goes hard at it, but his gang tackle will have another bounce, and the Bombers are resolute in defence.
Great defence it was. It was almost zoned, almost like basketball. They kept them out. Everyone had a man, so they had no one to go to, and eventually they ran them down.
Jared White could have done with the left foot. You talked about Scotty Lucas' non-right foot then, but he turned back into traffic.
Bolton rove the pack. Simpson grabbed again for the second time. He's thrown to the ground by a handful of Bombers, and will have another bounce. Still 52 metres out, this time directly in front of the Carlton goal, as Lance Whitnell pushes up to the action and brings James Hird with him. Ball up, Lance will do the ruck work. Doesn't get near it though. The tap coming from Cartledge. Peveril's in there. Hird grabbed high in the back. No, didn't get any of them. Welsh though is out there, flicks it out. Away they go. Bolton looks inside. Murphy is usually a beautiful kick. He looks up. There's not much on offer. Solomon's out there. A good battle against Teague. Solomon made a contest of it. Picked up by French, who hasn't had the greatest of nights.
Down the ground.
Free kick down the ground. Solomon clobbered somebody on the way through, and the free kick downfield as Teague picks himself up.
The Murphy kick, McPhee out of the goal square on McGrath. He had him cold again. There's the free kick. Solly just with a high tackle, high on the shepherder. But McPhee had McGrath cold again. Always tempting when the man shepherds you to give him one on the way through.
Oh, very tempting. Dennis.
I was looking for anybody else other than you, Dermot. It's a given with you. Once again, an easy mark dropped by Carlton. That one just went right through the fingertips of Prendergast. Lucas close to the boundary line. Now Essendon go. Zantuck gets it going to Bradley, and the Bombers are away.
To Johnson. Jason Johnson on the other side wing. Short. McVeigh on the angle. Real chance here. Gets it away to Monfries. 60 metres out. Sets it up towards full forward. French did well. Battle of wills and strength. Got rid of Solomon. Carrazzo brings it out. Now a chance for White. Carlton on the rebound. Desperately needing a goal. They trail by 14 points. He runs beyond the wing. Kicks inside the forward 50. Indiscriminate kick though. Hird gets an indiscriminate bounce. Slides after the football. Cops it up. Davies not beyond him. Right on the line. Heads a bobbing photo finish.
Oh, he had one another look.
I reckon he got there.
He got there.
I think he got there. Just. That was clever. He thought his way through this and got the ball to go from left to right, and Zantuck arrived in the nick of time.
He just got there.
They've had one kick down the centre of the Bombers from their kick-ins, and that resulted in that first goal for them. Every other time they've come out of defence, they've hugged the boundary on the kick-out.
Lucas to Peveril.
They'll go out again. They've got Kepler Bradley by himself.
There he is. You do Tats Lotto numbers as well, Dermot.
Oh, if only that worked
you
for
are
me.
Predicting beautifully tonight. The mark taken by Ramanauskas.
McPhee again.
Up to that man.
Here he is. They need to move the ball quick. It's a delicious proposition for Essendon.
That's 50. Spawn read the script on that occasion.
I kept telling you, then let him go. I told you. I kept telling you. I did, honestly. I told you.
You'll have a sore throat at half-time, umpire Voss.
I promise I told you. He's a nice fella, Michael, was it?
McPhee is thinking he might change his mind and say April Fool.
69 marks to Essendon, Carlton 27. Here's French for Carlton. Brings it in. Carazzo. Long to the square. Cooter's got the sit. Cooter's there. Cooter's got it. Ooh. Cooter marks.
Well, he's got to push forward on Bolton and make him accountable, which is exactly what he did. I mean, Bolton's got this amazing aerobic capacity which will take Kouta all around the ground. The best chance to make him nervous is to take him to the goal square and see if he can match him in the body strength department.
First touch for the captain of Carlton this quarter, and it's a beauty. Just where you want it.
All about playing to your strengths. He's a runner.
To end 5 goals in a row to the Bombers. Cooter comes in from point-blank range and does it. We have got a ripping match on our hands here with less than 2 minutes left in the first half.
You did right, guys. It's all about playing to your strengths, and if you can push forward, he doesn't have the aerobic capacity of Bolton anymore, only because Bolton's so good. Cooter's still very capable himself of travelling around the ground, but in the body-on-body strength, he's going to hold sway. Just the fact is, they haven't got the ball at half-forward, their side of the centre, with the ability to kick it deep enough times this quarter. Essendon have controlled the quarter. Hasn't had that option to push forward like that.
So the margin back to 7 points. Less than 2 minutes to half-time. Ramanauskas trying to dig it out of the middle. You heard the umpire. Play on's the call. Lucas got a first on it. Monfries was up, spilled it, goes after it again with courage. Well played, young man. Ties it up and we'll have a ball up down towards half-forward for the Bombers. First round draft pick. Angus Monfries from Stirp. Wearing number 6. Memories of Jeff Gosper, Neil Danaher, and of course Sean Wellman. Ramanauskas getting busy now. Tackled, spills across to Bolton. Kicks inside the forward 50. McGrath overran the football. Getting it on the up, Lovett Murray, down goes McPhee. I don't think he'll be happy again. No whistle. He will be delighted. Monfries gets a lucky soccer kick forward and kicks the goal. His first in footy.
Big damage here for the Bombers. They put the score on the board, but one of the blokes who I reckon's been incredible for them, Dean Solomon, he is coming off and he is really hurt. He might have a broken hand or a broken thumb or something. He's run straight to the boundary, clutching it.
That's a horrible. Just cut in. That is a horrible non-decision by that umpire on McPhee. Horrible.
Plenty happening. Bombers got the goal, and the Bomber fans are still screaming because they thought there should have been a free kick. In the meantime, Dean Solomon has gone. Blues fans, sorry. In the meantime, Dean Solomon has gone to the bench, which is where I was looking. We'll get Dr. Peter Larkins in a moment. French to Cooter. Cooter around the body and has been picked off by Peverell. Let's go quickly to Dr. Peter Larkins as we head to the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, not too bad, Ed. Just a dislocated finger. Looked like the little finger or the ring finger is back in place. He's walking the boundary and they've left him alone. So Dean Solomon will be right.
OK, good news there for Essendon fans. There was some thought that it might have been a broken hand, a dislocated finger, according to the doc.
He had 2 opponents so far. Dean Solomon, he's been very good at centre forward, giving them balance. Led up to the wings.
He got to this kick, didn't he?
Yeah, that's the type of kick he was leading to. Yep.
Now, when the doc said they left him alone, was he talking about Carlton or the trainers?
Yeah.
There goes the kick from Johnson to Peverell. That debate is over, of course. The clock is running down. We're down to 1 second. Obviously, we learned during the week it was Nick's fault. He forgot to bring his pepper spray. It's half-time. But listen to this.
And much of that's to do with the free kick that wasn't paid against McPhee.
I think so.
He was swung around in a full 360, fell on the ground, then released the footy and tapped it out. It's a free kick in anyone's language. And the middle hasn't been the problem for the Blues. They're giving it out all right. They've got to get some scoring opportunities.
Bombers by 13 points. The start of the 3rd term Friday night football. Last season Essendon won 10 out of 12 when they led at the major break. Hard to beat from here. Knocked down by French. Koutafidis had it and lost it. Peveril, 17 possessions now. Goes down towards half forward. Favoured by the bounce. Solomon. That was clever going to the ground. Mark Johnson to Jason Johnson. 60 metres out. It was touched off the boot. Monfries tackled immediately. Jarred out of there. Taken by Lucas. Back to Mark Johnson. Kept his head. Wonderful finish. Twice the Johnsons combined. And Jason now will kick a goal from 30 metres out on a very slight angle.
It was there for some time, guys.
Yep. Yeah, it was, Dermot. If they start to win some footy out of the middle, this might get ugly for Carlton. The fact that they've won the footy well out of the middle has just kept them close enough, the Blues.
Best and fairest in 2001. Runner-up last season and in 2002, and finished third in 2003. Remarkably consistent. Gets the goal. Great start for the Bombers in the third term on Friday Night Football.
It was just nice composure, wasn't it, going forward? I guess when you got Lucas with 4 goals on the board, then the emphasis can tend to go to him. But gee, the best forward lines have always got 3 or 4 different options. There's Lucas up at the ball, so it makes you think you've got to go somewhere else. And that's the important kick right there for Mark Johnson. Just the composure, presence of mind, not to blaze away. He saw someone, Jason Johnson, converted.
Bombers have kicked 7 of the last 8 goals in the game, and you dare say the next one could really decide this game. Essendon by 19 points. Scotland ducks his head, grabs the ball, is held up by 4 Essendon players in a gang tackle. Stephen Kernahan behind Dennis Pagan. Tony Elshaw to Dennis's left.
Zantuck's taking the honours in that battle. Probably Bolton on Koutafidis, and also you'd say he's in front.
French gets the tap. Jason Johnson on hands and knees. Carazzo over the top. Koutafidis again. And Pius is too long.
Let's knock it out straight away, Jason. You've got to try and knock it out, mate.
Well, the umpires have been consistent with that.
No doubt.
There's no doubt about it, and it's been a good thing. Koutafidis now drives it inside 50. Whitnell's got away. Beautiful kick. Good lead from Lance. And as I said moments ago, this is a vital shot at goal. The Bombers, you think if they got the next one, would just start to creep away, and Carlton would have to look to change their structure somewhat to just stay in touch. But if Lance can kick it, they're back in town.
Sorry, there's no one on the mark, which is a staggering thing, which allowed Koutafidis to get it to him quickly.
So right on 50, Lance Whitnell misses to the near side.
Let's have a look at the Dustin Fletcher kick in now. This has worked for them all evening. They've had 8 so far. He's only gone down the middle once, which resulted in a goal. Of those 8 kick-ins, 5 of them have gone inside 50 at the other end without Carlton touching it.
Bolton hard against the boundary line. Kicks up towards the wing. McPhee missed it. Lurking at the back, French to Lappin. Lappin goes down towards half forward. Koutafidis about 75 metres out from goal. Spots a man wider. Comes to Scotland. Can he finish? No, he can't. Barely sneaks it through for a behind. And to win this now, the Blues have to claim their chances.
Well, that's a moral win there, Dennis. That's the first time they've turned the ball around in on an Essendon kick-in. The worst they'd done until that point in time was get it over the centre at least, the Bombers.
Fletcher long towards midfield this time. French taps it down in front. McGrath emerges with the football. Kicks inside the 50 and finds Betts.
Look, the stats can be deceiving because you get so many cheap ones these days that they can mean very little. But stats like this, that is just a genuine one-on-one contest in the middle of the ground which sets you up. That's worth 5 cheap, cheating, run-out wide kicks.
Probably worth more than that.
10.
Let me advance on 10. Here's Betts.
11.
Kicks from 45. Yes. Tight but good. Hits second.
Yes, Dennis, can you gather that we hate cheats and we hate people who play pretty footy, and we like people who get the footy when they get punched in the head and all those sorts of things?
I don't hate them, Doom, but too often we go, oh, he had a terrific night, he had 34 touches. Well, give me a bloke that wins 12 of those over a bloke that runs, into the forward pocket and gets a kick out from full back and racks them up.
You need a balance, boys.
You need inside and outside players.
We've got plenty of outsiders. Great effort, McGrath.
Correct weight on the Betts. He gets the goal.
He's getting votes.
Younghead. He's done well. He's got 2 for the game, and Carlton got that vital goal to answer Essendon.
No chance.
We're back to 11 points.
There's another Eddie in town.
Good, he could take some of the blame.
Jared Waite was very, very good last week. He ran out of legs, cramped up pretty badly. He will be important if Carlton to get back in this.
Both holding. Play on.
Everyone up. Johnson in there, smothered. Murphy looks up, has to kick across the body. Solomon was the only one leading. It was a beautiful kick. Norman, who is taking on Lucas at the moment, takes it to the boundary line. We'll have a throw in.
A great kick because Barnaby French was planted in the middle of the ground on his own, so he had to pull it across his body out into some space. So it was really well thought out.
A great play by Murphy. Could have blazed away.
Now Teague is going to be left by himself because Solomon has to go for it.
French, but Solomon got a hand on it. Lucas's kick, it's an awkward bounce. Johnson, he likes to make it difficult for himself, then pushes the ball out of the way, then drops it and goes off the ground.
Great block.
He did everything right, then did everything wrong, and nearly got the goal in the end.
The worry is that he has just shrugged Matthew Lappin away all night here, and he could do some enormous damage. He was away again had he held onto that footy.
And Carazzo just...
He was willing it to drop in before it went over out in the full.
Just got the foot in. French gets the tap. Stevens over the top of it. McVeigh for Essendon underneath the pack. Johnson will try and crash through. He does. He's dragged to the ground by Houlihan. Will have a bounce.
Have the ball when you're grabbed. Thank you.
The Essendon bench, as you can see, Winderlick, Elvey, Cartledge and Lovett Murray.
It might be just a bit close to goal here, but Jason Johnson is the type of player who just gets a head up of steam and runs through and will pick the ball up if it drops in his direction.
Plenty of blocking off the ball. Here's Mark Johnson, grabbed high. Stevens didn't like it, but he just had enough on him. And Johnson will line up for his second goal of the evening, and a big one for the Bombers.
Been as important as anyone, Mark Johnson, I reckon, tonight.
Yes, he's been a great player, Mark Johnson.
Hard to argue that.
No, it's a free kick, for sure.
Just got him a bit high. Johnson to come in from point-blank range. Keeps it low, splits the middle. Bombers answer, his second.
Clever kick for goal.
Yeah, he kept it low.
Yeah, just punched it through as if he was spear passing it through rather than lean back and try and kick the cover off it. With the possibility of the slightest hook foot on that, yeah, a big chance to miss him from there. He gave himself every chance. Yeah, untidy tackle, didn't do any damage, but that's the rules, unfortunately.
Mark Johnson, a couple of goals in this term. Dangerous on the forward line. Been dangerous all night. Henneman was up. McGrath steals it though. Penetrating kick well inside the forward 50. Hurd goes back, fell to ground. Whitnell, half chance, 15 metres out, wide at the mark. On the behind.
Rolled the dice then, Lance Whitnell. Elected not to go for the contest even though his opponent Hurd went to it. Rolled the dice hoping that Hurd would cough it up. He did.
Here they go again. Interesting talking there. Both were talking. Bradley took the mark in front. We assume the man behind talked him into the mark. Kepler Bradley to Welsh. Lance Whitnell 1 goal 3 on the night. Welsh has been very good. McPhee simply missed it. Camporelli. A chance for the Blues on the rebound. Long for Bowler in front. They both finished on the deck. Whitnell going at his second 1-4.
Yeah, it is. When you get a golden opportunity for a turnover like that, he was actually on his own to the left, Whitnell, when they went forward. That's just very un-Adam McPhee-like.
Well, as Dennis said, 1 goal 4 to Lance Whitnell and 3 behinds this term. Now, Carlton have kicked 4 behinds for the quarter so far, and all of them have been gettable. Scotland's was a hard chance, but he's usually pretty good with Scotland at kicking those goals. So they're missing their opportunities.
Go outside the boundary. When he was called to play on.
And you've gone around, played on, inside the boundary line to throw in.
If you're inside, it's still play on.
Because you've gone off your line. You've seen the DVD. It's clear as day.
Ball play on about
It is on
now.
the DVD he's talking about is not the footy show's greatest hits. It's actually an umpire's DVD, and they showed it to all the commentators.
That's right.
Sam Newman was noticeably absent at our meeting, but if you do run along the boundary line, they call it play on, and therefore off the line you're out of bounds. That was why the throw-in was affected. In the meantime, it comes out to Peveril. Accuracy tonight, by the way, 85% Essendon, Carlton 39%. And that is the difference between the sides at the moment. Norman for Carlton to Wiggins. Carazzo from centre wing, a long bomb up towards the square. Big mark required. Lance got his hands to the ball, couldn't quite hold on to it. Bradley for Essendon gets it out to the bloke with a similar body shape in Fletcher, who thumps it onto the boot. Boundary line throw in. This is a gripping encounter now. Essendon by 15 points. Carlton really need to keep pressing. But as I said, the kicking at goals, Carlton have had 18 shots at goal, 7-11 to Essendon's 11-13. So 17-13, but it's the Bombers who hold sway by 15 points.
That was the replay of the Ramanaskas indiscretion.
I did the audio on the DVD, but don't ask me to explain. As the ball goes beyond the wing, Bonfries is taken down, bounces to his knees, down goes Carazzo. He was driven into the ground by Lucas. Over the top comes Norman. We've got a whistle, and the umpire has found a free kick, and there he has. It's going to Bonfries, who plays on immediately. Who releases Lucas to his left side. Nice kick. Welsh, adept at pushing up the ground. As Dermot said, so many uncontested marks in the first half. This is Lucas, wants his left side. No surprise there. Still weaving, turning. He's gone too far. Advantage is paid. In midfield for Bowler. Chips to the 50. Kurtafidis to Whitnell. Whitnell pops it to space. Camporelli will let it bounce. An obliging bounce. Goes in and kicks it. His first.
So often we talk about momentum in footy. It definitely has swung again to Carlton. They're not really putting it onto the board now in terms of just belting away at Essendon's score, but they just have the momentum here. They need to put it on the board now. They need to transfer it onto a good score here. You know Essendon are going to come at them again. They're just having a good run here. A few things are happening. Lucas turns into traffic, goes too far.
Scott Lucas running too far in the replay. I think I counted about 19 steps. And allowed to have 15 metres. He went forward, went backwards, went sideways. Umpire said too far. The turnover resulted in a Carlton goal to Camporelli, and we're back to 9 points inside 50s. Carlton have had 7 this quarter for a 2 goals 4 return. Essendon just 2 for 2 goals.
So
100% efficiency for the Bombers. But Carlton starting to get it up and going.
Alistair Clarkson.
Ross Smith in the front there. Former North Melbourne champion, part of the Hawthorn Brains Trust.
Todd Viney.
They're all there, all the Hawks.
Essendon next week.
Here we go for the Blues. Scotland under pressure. Carazzo missed it the first time, went the second. He's in trouble, knocks it out. Henneman, Johnson. Kick forward. McPhee underneath it. Big fly. Lucas. At ground level, good tackle, picked up by French, gets it out. Stevens now has got some space, looks up, has a bounce, there's no one running towards him, he has to hold the ball. Now he goes around the body, really wanting the boundary line, he puts it out in front of Betts. Great play there by Ramanaskas, robbed him of the ball. Back to Bradley, he's gone, good tackle by Eddie Betts.
How do you get rid of it?
Umpire says throw it in.
Much better Carlton line forward structure now, and they go forward. Favola out of the goal square. Whitnell about 30 metres in front of him. It's a much more conventional setup. It gives them some direction when they go forward.
Throw in at half forward flank for Carlton. Kuda almost grabbed. Camporelli, look at this, away they go. No one within 100 metres of Lappin. Lappin can go all the way. He steps his opponent, he wants the goal. He kicks from 45. Doesn't get much purchase on him, he goes to Lance though. Lance was tackled beautifully, and the Bombers now on the rebound. Johnson's away.
He was bludging back, Johnson.
Johnson's got it. He got it from Welsh, a couple of bounces. Inside the centre square, chips to half forward Henneman. It got there in time. Away to Cupido, inside the forward 50, Bolton. 35 metres out, about 15 metres in from the line. Well, Lappin took on the would-be tackler, and his indecision cost dearly.
still should have hit the target going down that way. You're right too, Gaz. He was bludgeoned back there. Well, I actually think he made an error. He was looking to other parts of the ground, then looked up and saw his opponent lapping, and he thought, oh, my God. But he set off after him.
Well, I reckon he made a conscious decision and thought, if we win it, you're in trouble.
Mark Bolton, who turns 26 on Sunday. Distance won't be a problem. It's a question of accuracy, and that is good off the boot. Important goal.
Yeah, look, I just think that sometimes forwards there, they roll the dice and they go, right, if we win this, I'm off and running. But, yeah, that really should have resulted in a Carlton goal. He missed Lance Whitnell in the end.
A skill error at the end.
Yep.
Now, that should have hit him lace out. A player of Lappin's ability still should have got the ball onto the target then.
Now, Mark Bolton gets the goal for the Bombers. It's 3-2, Essendon's way this quarter. Back out to 15 points. Johnson does it well. On to McVeigh. He sees some space. Lines up the goals and kicked it. He's put it through. Big goal for the Bombers. Mark McVeigh delivers.
It's a great goal under pressure, guys. Not many times do you ever have to, are required to kick the ball accurately at 100% your optimum pace. When you've hit that top pace, are you required to kick the ball? He did on that occasion and threaded it.
He was a little lucky too. The ball drop wasn't great, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. They're getting some goals from their midfield here, which is really important. Johnson and McVeigh.
Amazing accuracy, 13 goals to 8-11. And Mark Johnson involved in just about everything. One down by French. Stevens comes away, gets onto this one, long and deep to the forward pocket, going back with courage. Fletcher, Hurd was there as well. Fletcher to Ramanauskas, a little chip out of defence. Jason Johnson this time decides to hold. He's at right half back.
Won the ball out the middle, did the hard work, kicked it to Dustin Fletcher, who was standing on his own.
Beverell coming up for his 19th possession. His career high is 32 against the Cats. Jason Johnson to half forward. French was up, spilt the mark. Stevens is back. Needs support. Teague and Stevens combine. Stevens sends play towards the wing. Good kick coming up. Carrazzo's got it. Plays on immediately. Runs beyond the wing. Looks to half forward. Sets it up towards the forward 50. In from the side, Bolton. Ramanauskas to nobody in particular. Betts goes down towards full forward, keeping his balance well for Bowler to Lappin. Can he make amends? You bet he can. His first.
Well, we both do it. We both look at each other. And there's Mark Johnson. He was 85 metres away from Lappin. So as good as he's been, you just got to go with a dangerous player like Lappin.
Well, technically, he's involved in every goal.
He is. You called it beautifully, Dennis. You called it beautifully, but you...
Well, he's shaking the head, Mark Johnson, thinking, oh, what have I done now? He knows he's made an error.
You can't guess in footy, do you?
Yep.
It's a great matchup. They're having a ding-dong battle. But, Mark, we just both, Dermot and I both looked, as soon as he kicked the goal, Matthew Lappin, we both thought the same thing and said, where's Mark Johnson? Well, he's not in picture there because he's 80 metres away from him, back in the Essendon forward line.
When he kicked it, he was actually in the centre square, not quite on the wing.
So an interesting battle there, Lappin and Johnson playing off each other, both having an effect, but ultimately nullifying each other on the scoreboard at the moment as the Bombers by 15 points. Just can't break the back of these Blues. They keep on keeping on Carlton at the moment. Jason Johnson crashes through. Good tackle by Betts. Spills the Cupid over. Oh, slider hand to Lovett. Murray! Touch on the line. Lappin at the other end. These two have just got a hand in everything, literally, on that occasion.
Oh.
Dennis doesn't like it.
Straight up the middle. He's got one on, but he's got him out wide now.
Good decision.
Yes.
Now, Carrazzo runs to centre wing, goes out wide. The mark taken out there by Cade Simpson. Simpson holds it up to Carrazzo. Bombers got the flood back, and Carrazzo's turned it over. Now Essendon can go. Good play by Favola, just held up Lucas enough. Kicks around the body. Zantuck Out wide, nice kick. Solomon looks inside. Bit of magic required here from Cupido. He went with the one hand. No good. Not in this atmosphere out here on the MCG tonight on Friday Night Football. Morrell from the kick. Beautiful stuff. Down here to Favola.
Koutafidis has brought Bolton down deep, but Fletcher, the loose man, makes it hard to get it to him.
12 touches for Favola. Camporelli's first possession there in that chain was a beauty. McGrath's got it.
He's been very good tonight, Corey McGrath's won some pretty tough ball.
55 out. He sets it up for Carl Norman. He too now 55 out. Goes to the pocket looking for Whitnell up high from behind. Beautiful mark taken by Dustin Fletcher.
He got away from Hurd. He had 5 metres on him and he's just picked off by Dustin Fletcher.
50, is it?
Yep.
7 marks to Dustin Fletcher.
Back chatting umpire. That's the 50-metre penalty. Gee whiz, he had James Hurd done cold then, Lance Whitnell.
Fletcher to half forward. McPhee's got the run of it. He's about 65 metres out. Props short. Solomon comes on the lead. His mark about 60 metres out from goal.
9th mark.
Goes for distance.
That'll work.
That's hard to mark. Over the top, Johnson. Just spiralled out of his hands. He goes again, Johnson. Over the football in the opposite direction, Spawn. French quick hands. Lappin, a little untidy. Jason Johnson slips it away. Lucas White on the 50. Going at number 5. Don't tell me. He's got it.
Oh, yeah, the blinkers on, Des.
Well, why wouldn't you? The way he's going beautifully.
That mongrel torpedo from Solomon that came in. Forwards tend to pick up the flight of the ball because they only have to concentrate on the ball first. Backmen have to watch an opponent, ball, backman, ball. So
he also had Barnaby French sitting right there, so it wasn't any good just popping up a drop punt anyway. I'd love to get the average distance of Scott Lucas's goals. He is an outside 50 specialist.
Went through 2/3 post height as well.
Yeah, it's a good game of footy at the moment.
Well, you'd think from here, still a bit of time left in this quarter, a full quarter, the 4th coming up. Carlton are going to have to kick 18 goals to win this, and they've got 9 at the moment.
Scott Lucas's first 5-goal haul since round 18, 2000, against Fremantle at Colonial Stadium, as it was then known. Now, of course, the Telstra Dome.
No Matty Lloyd, Ed, so they needed someone to kick a bag of 5. And there's James Hurd, who is starting to get a few possessions now, but 6 for the match.
Yep, and 0 for the term.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
He's not much of it, but he's been playing, as we know, up in the back line tonight. Welsh, look away handball. Ramanaskas over the shoulder. Good football.
Fletcher.
McPhee, and Fletcher straightens up Essendon again. The kick was a beauty to Bolton. Bolton.
Oh, look at him on the other wing.
Does exactly that, Dermot. He
Reach for the
saw this man.
now.
First touch for the quarter for James Hurd. Is it a good one? It's a shocker.
Whitnell's on at the back.
Spawn. Now the rebound. Whitnell's got it. James Hurd got back quickly to hold him up at the very least.
Got one in the throat then.
Whitnell's got it. Chips it forward. Blues. Plenty of blues here. Long kick forward for Vola, but it was a shank.
That was horrible.
It was a shocker. And it's been turned over.
Well, it's going into end. Zantuck. Jason Johnson.
What has also worked for the Bombers is Murphy, who was really pants by Camporelli in the first quarter, now takes him deep into the forward line, so Camporelli goes away from the action zone in the middle.
Love it when you get technical. This is Bradley on the wing.
Hansed.
Now where will he go? Lovett Murray offers. Play on's the call. Quite a journey from the mark to where Bradley's standing. Scotland came to him, that immediately goes through the interchange gates. Meantime, Houlihan trying to punch it forward, miscued. Runs loose at the back. Bolton surrounded by Blues, in trouble, lays it off. Lovett Murray, well done Houlihan, stifled the kick. French to Koutafidis, hugs the boundary line. White takes a tumble. And the ball spills across the line.
Barnaby French is the corresponding loose man for Carlton. Fletcher up the other end. He ain't no Dustin Fletcher. Barnaby French playing loose man across half back.
Boundary throw in. Left half back. Carlton needing some late goals. The margin 22 points. Solomon had it knocked away by a teammate. Winderlich Troubled by a hamstring, but back in the action, and we'll have a bounce.
Who do you make that corresponding loose man then? Do you get a smaller running player back by himself? Do you get a ball user, or do you get somebody mid-sized like Kuda?
Well, I don't think Carlton can win if Dustin Fletcher plays on his own inside defensive 50. Someone's got to go and make him accountable.
22 points is the biggest lead in the game so far. The Bombers enjoy it. With just over 3.5 minutes left in the third term. The Bombers just don't want to concede a goal here. Spawn goes forward. Oh, off hands. McGrath had it, dropped the pull. McPhee to Mark Johnson. Gets it away. Winderlich, handballs on. Jason Johnson, big kick this one. Couldn't quite find the target. Cartledge is there for Essendon. Good play by Stevens for Carlton. Gets the handball away. Camporelli around the corner. Plenty of blues and plenty of space now. The running player is Prendergast. Has the bounce. Needs to find a target. Not much on. Has to kick it to a turn. Right, Lappin from behind. Hurd held his spot. Diving in hard there for Carlton was Betts. It spills out to McPhee and Hurd. Now off the Welsh. Welsh looks out wide. Stays in the air a long time. Good play by Bolton. Took his man under it. Now he can run. And has got Murphy further up the ground. Murphy gets it on the half volley. Looks up. The lead comes from Lucas. He's got it again. Scott Lucas, what a night he's had. 5 so far. And this is a huge kick in the context of this match.
He wrong-footed his opponent then, Carl Norman, so much so that, well, it was well done by David Teague. He was able to recognise that, and they actually crisscross changed partners while they were chasing their leading forwards.
This is his...
Still couldn't get to win though, Gaz.
He's 50-50 from this spot, Dermot. He's kicked 5, missed 2 to the left, 3 to the right.
And the tail's up, you'd back him.
He's had 9 marks, 13 kicks, 3 handballs, and kicked 5 goals.
You'd back him.
Now has 6 goals for Essendon tonight. The Bombers kick away to a 28-point lead.
Still, Gary, when you isolate the scores, 20 scoring shots to 18. Carlton have had the 20. So it's not as if they haven't had their chances, but gee, they've been rushed in there inside their forward 50 when they've been shooting at goal. It's just a battle of wills now. Sheeds knows that Dustin Fletcher holds the whip hand. So if Pagan keeps pushing players back, they could end up with 10 forwards to 11 backmen.
6 goals to Scott Lucas. I think from memory that equals his career best. 15-3, 9-11. So Carlton in deep distress right here. Kudafini's trying to charge through the pack. Cartledge looking to give it to Johnson. Has to do it himself. Welsh. Betts cluttered in as well. And the umpire calls for it as we go down to the dock.
Then it's just ironical, if Scott Lucas had had the thumb fixed as he was rumoured to be having, he would have missed 4 to 6 weeks. Here he is playing with the thumb heavily strapped, and you look at the goal haul he's got tonight.
Yep, thumbs up. There goes the punch from Johnson. His namesake is taken high, no doubting that. Carazzo got him. Hasn't he been lively in this term, as we've said, involved technically in most goals. His man getting something.
Well, they might score out of this one, the Bombers, but Sheeds has just put up the shutters. He went that last bounce down with 3 forwards, and the rest of those forwards pushed into the back line. He just does not want to concede a goal here, Sheeds. That's his logic.
Zantuck to Welsh. Just over a minute to go. Johnson, Betts came up behind him. Doesn't make a lot of noise when he runs. Here's a chance. Murphy slips it away towards Welsh. Welsh to Zantuck. Too clever by half the Bombers. They need to be careful. Pepperell's got it. Had a good match. Goes towards half forward. On his knees, but spilling the mark. Camporelli worked out of it. Lovett Murray. Houlihan got it to Carazzo. Back to Camporelli. Dragged down. Knocks it forward. Sliding in was Pepperell. Tries to feed it out to Jason Johnson. Nothing doing. A massive humanity, and we've got a bounce on the wing.
But no forwards at all inside 50. Now Bolton takes Kudafidis to the goal square. Just got to be careful, Prendergast, when the bloke's got his head over the footy. Didn't get him, so one thing.
Don't give us a reason to pay a free.
Yep, there you go. 13 seconds left in the term, as you can see. Pepperell goes to the ground, up on his knees. Good play. Johnson finds some space. One last blow left for the Bombers. Bolton gets there on the half volley. Couldn't quite make it, and that's it. 6 goals to 3. Essendon's way in the third term. Been a tough week for Carl Norman, and it's not getting any easier tonight. Final term with Dennis Committee.
Margin 28 points. French wins it down decisively. Koutoufides, not 10. You heard the call. Actually, it should be not 15. Johnson gets a hand pass to Johnson. Let's not quibble. The kick goes down towards half forward. Coming back with a flat of it, Wiggins. That's a terrific mark.
Putting the ground out of the contest, 50.
Oh.
Yeah, Ben Solomon has been superb in the forward line for the Bombers, but well, this is what you get with Solly. I guess you want some physical presence. He's going to give a couple of throws away.
A bit stiff, like if you're not in the contest, but the contest fell in his lap. There goes the kick inside the 50. Over the football, McGrath. He's been handy to Betts, lays it forward. Now Camporelli dragged down. Wonderful chase, Ramanauskas. Forced the error, and the ball spills out of bounds in the pocket. And Camporelli had a look to see who that was. And in his heart of hearts, he recognised that was a very good effort by his opponent.
He hasn't got the legs maybe he once had, Campo. But a great chase from Ramanauskas. Got better as the game has worn on, Adam Ramanauskas.
Boundary throw in.
James Hird just flicks out by himself.
Carlton desperate for a goal. Hird in the thick of it now, though. Betts had it, lost it. Koutoufides lays it off the bowler. Capable of kicking this one. Bends it around. Can he kickstart them? Well, maybe.
First for the night. He is the man. He is the man that can still get a hold of them. With all due respect to Lance Whitnell, he's had two opponents for most of the night. Brendan Favola has got Ty Zantuck, who's done a good job, as Dermot's pointed out, but I'm not sure he's been in that many contests, Brendan Favola. He's just got to get to the contest more often and see if he can't impose himself on it in that way. But he is a great white hope for the Blues right now.
So Brendan Favola finally gets involved in this game. Big snap goal. Beauty it was. Back to 22 points. Plenty of time for the Blues. French gets the tap. Kuta roves it. Jason Johnson to Mark Johnson for Essendon. Breaks 2-3 tackles. Then opens it up for his teammate Welsh. Welsh looks up and decides to go long. Got Lucas again. Oh, just over his head. Lucas off the ground. Lucas off the ground was almost miraculous. He's just missed.
Once again, Andrew Welsh coming off the half-back line. An uncontested possession. Just overcooked the kick. Weight comes on, and Carlton now play a 7-man forward line, attempting to force Dustin Fletcher to play on someone.
Carlton have to kick 4 goals to win this game.
Now time.
Houlihan told to hurry up. He gets the kick out towards Big Barnaby off hands. Ball hits the ground. Pendergast gets it out to Camporelli. Camporelli now kicks out to the wide open spaces. Away they go. DeLuca in front of Fletcher. Does well. Gets a bit of a shove. Keeps his composure. Did it very well. Inside the Betts. Betts now looks up. Favola's got to sit here again. Big Lance is up as well. Both of them. Lance recovers first and kicks the goal. They've got the first 2. The Blues, they're back into it. It's 17 points of difference.
Yeah, and you know what? For the first time for a long time, the ball gets kicked into the corridor, and you know who's not there to make a mess of it? Dustin Fletcher, because he actually had an opponent that he had to chase out to the boundary line. The ball comes back. The 2 Carlton forwards who are most likely to win you the game have got one-on-one contest, and surprise, surprise, they kick a goal.
Nice little touch by Lance to just move James under it.
Gee whiz.
Clever footy.
So the margin back to 17 points now. The Bombers had a reputation last season for fading. Will it happen again tonight? Tough conditions, testing conditions. French knocks it down for the 3rd time in this term, directly down to Koutoufides. Johnson moved it about 5 metres. Pepperell straight up in the air. Koutoufides somehow looking to feed it back to French. Scotland slips it away to Lappin to half forward. Betts charges in. Didn't have the football. Waite's got it now. Tries to squeeze it out. Taken by Stevens. Runs beyond the wing. Kicks inside the forward 50. McGrath a little tired. Well, he's seen Wayne Harms, I'm sure, do that on Pie Nights when they show the tape, but it didn't work that time.
How much
that was
more
a beautiful
dangerous?
kick.
It was, but how much more dangerous does it look when they go forward and you've got one-on-ones with Fletcher having to look after DeLuca?
Well, even that one, it's likely that Fletcher would have picked that off as it came into the forward line.
Great effort DeLuca before too to keep his feet out on the boundary and get at the Betts.
My eyes are a bit dark in this pocket. We turn the lights out here.
Yeah, that's dark.
Beautiful knock. Chance for Bant. Oh, it went off the ground.
Yeah, it does look
couldn't
bad.
squeeze it through. Poor opportunity there for Carlton. They've got plenty of running in this quarter, no doubt about it. Tony Jones, can you shed some light on the lights?
So to speak, Ed. Yeah, no, it is a little dark around that pocket there. It's not too bad like that at ground level to the naked eye, but the house lights, if you like, up the top haven't been switched on. I don't think they were on Saturday night either, so that's something they'll address in the next week or so.
OK, some teething problems, obviously, with the new stand, but high up and under, left Zantuck in no man's land, and Lance Whitnell's able to get across and thump it to the boundary line.
Mark Alvey hasn't spent enough time on tonight to actually have touch in his feet, the tempo of the game, to actually kick around the corner and hit the chest like that.
So we're back to 16 points. Plenty of time. Jason Johnson. Now this will be interesting. Yes. Gallows well short, and Johnson was a bit lucky. He didn't take it cleanly. And the umpires decided to insist to be thrown in again, to the embarrassment of the boundary umpire. But nevertheless,
That new.
Yeah,
well, yes, tonight. Tossed in. Prendergast knocks it down. Alvey slips a hand pass away. Welsh, another possession. Oh, good mark. Murphy stretching.
Only his 9th possession coming up. A lean evening for Justin Murphy.
Down towards right half forward. The game now very much in the balance. McVeigh running hard. They gain about 10 metres, but he's forced to go very wide. Kicked a wonderful goal in the previous term.
Now there is space opening out over the man on the mark here now.
Short. Solomon.
He's presented well tonight.
Yeah, been terrific on the lead.
Now,
Solomon.
Just on the other side of the man on the mark now, Peveril is. He runs out of there now. Will give a bit of room for the likes of Lucas to lead into. Now he's got to pull out of there. That's denied.
The veteran will kick from 60. Sends it long towards full forward. French, the only man up. Whatever plan it was, it didn't work. Stevens is running out of the back pocket. Sends play towards the outer side wing. Will it sit? Yes, it does. Fatigue will sort off. Now he's got a problem. Solomon, not the man to tinker with. Down goes Wiggins. Solomon. Well, Mark Taylor would have been proud of that one. Diving away to his left-hand side, and now he's beating away like Charlie Watts in there, and the umpire has come across, and he's going to ball it up on the wing. How about that?
Now have a look at this. I reckon Teague pulls it back in and pulls it into Solomon's chest when he gets on the ground there, hoping that the umpire will fall for
Well,
it.
Solomon didn't know what the heck was happening. He was too excited. The ball goes towards the boundary line. You take a ball like that, it's out of bounds, push in the back. Jason Johnson will get the free right on the wing.
He's filthy because the ball was heading out of bounds and hit the boundary umpire. It came back into play.
Carlton fans not happy there. Beautiful call, Dennis.
Yeah, we
Look
love
at this.
Charlie.
Oh, gee, I tell you what, no wonder they were bleeding, the Carlton supporters. Lucky free kick. Lappin had it and then dropped it. Fletcher did well. Stevens tries to get through. Kept his feet. That was the main thing. DeLuca close to the boundary line. Handballs up the line. Teague in and out of trouble. Back to DeLuca, who kept running. Flicks it high in the air. And that was a pretty good result from that situation. Let's go down to the dock. Pete Larkins, what's going on with James Hird?
He's feeling just feeling the pinch, Ed. He's getting a bit tired, bit of cramp in the calves, and just brought himself up looking pretty heavy in the legs, James. Tempo catching up with him tonight.
Well, his opposite number Cooter there. 8 clearances tonight. He's had a good one again, 2 weeks in a row. Now that's a free kick.
Tell you what, that James Hird on the bench exposes, for some strange reason, Nathan Lovett-Murray on Lance Whitnell.
Yeah, that's either in the crossover, Derm, or that is an enormous show of faith by Kevin Sheedy.
Pavola pushed.
And we'll find out now. Lance Whitnell is saying, everybody pull away. Just leave me one out with this kid.
McPhee's come in and filled the hole.
Yeah, and Cooter's come back to lend some assistance. In the
That's a great
meantime,
kick.
there's a few Blues loose at centre-half forward, and one of them is this man, Adrian DeLuca, who has kicked 2 goals.
And he can kick the cover off it, this kid. Look, his teammates come in there and said, just settle. You've got this range.
Lance is just pointing to the goals. Put it through, son, he's saying.
And Dustin Fletcher has got a man this quarter and has made the world of difference. He has been superb.
It's 16 points the difference.
Good story when you got a man.
This is a huge kick. Adrian DeLuca with 2 goals on the board.
Very much.
Directly in front, it'll need to go 55 metres.
Oh, he shanked it.
Lance has taken an absolute beauty. Well, there you go,
and Lovett Murray sitting down on the ground going, hang on a minute, we had 4 blokes around you then.
You've still got to go with your man.
Of course
Even though you've got the best support in the world with 4 blokes around 6'3" or over, if there's going to be an error, you must make it yours.
From 1 metre out to give Carlton a shot in this game. He steps around, opens up the angle, play on. He's kicked the goal. Lance gets his 3rd.
Now, without
got to go flex now.
labouring the point too much, Dern. The 3 goals have been kicked this quarter. 2 to Lance Whitnell, 1 to Brendan Favola. The coincidence, which is not a coincidence at all, is that man Fletcher, who's mucked their night up, has to go off and fix up someone else.
You have to go with him on Whitnell now, and they've made the change.
Jeez.
Big finish coming up. The margin is 10 points, and suddenly momentum is wearing navy blue.
DeLuca has now got Lovett Murray because Fletcher's gone to Whitnell. Whitnell's immediately taking him up the ground to expose Lovett Murray on DeLuca close to goal.
And look at the time remaining, over 13 minutes. French charges in, charges out, knocked down there by McVeigh, and spills wide of the pack, gathered by Johnson. That's Jason, kicks to space. But the Blues seem to be running hard. A Lappin goes over the top to McGrath. Leads it back inside to Scotland. Confronted by Johnson. Goes back to Lappin. Now he's got some time. Punches it down a half forward. Whitnell comes on the lead like a base runner going to second. Took the mark. Goes back to Scotland. Scotland pushed as he kicked. Teague missed it. He's going to get the free kick. He's getting the free kick, Teague. The best and fairest last season. A chance to bring it under a goal.
Had to do it, Solly. He had to go for that one.
It wouldn't have been a free kick last week, would it? Oh, he didn't have eyes on the footy.
No, he didn't. He had to do it, though. Teague was going to mark it, so he had to have a go at it and at least affect some sort of spoil when he was out of position. And hopefully the umpire mightn't see it, but he picked it up. Now Teague has to kick it.
He only kicked 1 goal last year, David Teague, in his best and fairest year, Dennis.
Looking at the goals, not the ball at the moment.
A chance for Teague, and for Teague to really harm Essendon.
Watch the ball.
But I think they're off the hook, at least for the moment.
And you've got to watch the ball at least. Never once looked at the ball then. And the old saying, kick of a backman, he certainly did. He just looked at the target from the moment the ball got in his hands.
Big huddle in the middle of the ground now. They break.
They go out wide. Blues have kicked 3 goals to zip in this final
McPhee, the next target.
If the Blues can get up, it'll be their 2nd best comeback ever from a 3/4 time deficit against Essendon. The best was 30 points in round 4, 1944 at Princes Park, when they stormed home to the Robert Heatley stand in. Well, tonight they get another go. 12 1/4 minutes left on the clock. White from Scotland spins around. It's a 9-point ball game. The kick comes into Eddie Betts over his head. Eddie says, just call it Cats, we'll be right.
We should send him a memo and tell him his height.
James Hird still sits, although he's just now got up out of the dugout.
Yep, and ready to come back on. Or is he? Yeah, having a bit of a look at the setup. We're going to throw in. We're deep into Carlton's attacking zone. 9 points the difference, 12 minutes left on the clock. Lance gets the tap, has a second go at it. It spills to McGrath. McGrath around the body. Punch through for a throw in. Off the behind post, we've got a throw in.
Can't get the ball through the middle now, Essendon. They've lost their composure.
Now, this will be interesting, Dermot, because DeLuca and Lance Whitnell here, some tall timber for the throw in. It's going to go right to the hot spot, this throw in.
Yeah, and watch Eddie Betts. What is he playing about, his 2nd or 3rd game? Oh, second game. And he's about the most dangerous player here.
No one got the tap. McPhee hit to the boundary line. Whitnell, who's been fantastic this term against McVeigh. Now the Cooter comes into Whitnell, the 1-2. Lance kicks up in the air. McGrath's underneath it. Big fly, couldn't quite hold it. Here's the danger man, Eddie Betts. It's dragged away, stripped. Federal slaps it towards the boundary line. McVeigh picks it up to Zanta. Concedes some ground. It was a good handball, though. Ramanauskas is high up and under, gets it outside the 50. Lappin's got it, though. And Lappin's a thumping kick.
Favola's broken
on
free.
His own. Favola's out wide. Favola's there. Favola's got it.
That's a good mark.
Brendan Favola. Before the game, Gary Lyon said for Carlton to win, Whitnell and Favola must play. Favola's kicked one for the term. Whitnall's kicked two. And Brendan Favola has the chance to make this a 3-point ball game.
Gee, it was a great kick. Got there low and it got there quick because they were converging on him. But these blokes all of a sudden have started to get dangerous because they've got some space to move in, some room to move. They have been the keys or not. They hadn't fired a shot up until now, but how much a world of difference it makes.
They've made some big errors in front of goal tonight, Carlton. Teague missed an absolute sitter moments ago. Brendan Favola is paid to kick big goals in big games. In he comes for his second of the night. What a kick. Brendan Favola head over the ball. A nice approach. He kicks through and it bends back. And he's kicked the goal. It's 3 points the difference at the MCG.
Well, Essendon in this quarter have had the ball 21 times. Carlton a whopping 43. They're just not winning the ball now, Essendon. Carlton winning it out of the middle. You mentioned there was a lot of danger still with that, Gary, if they just got a bit of return from their forwards. But they're also picking up a bit of ball out wide. They're running. They're getting a lot of handball receives as well. I mean, this is going to turn into a comfortable win if Essendon don't try and reverse this trend.
Bombers by 3 points. Over 10 minutes till full time. Perhaps the Blues could hit the front too early. Sometimes that changes the mindset. They storm out of the middle again. Kudafiti's long bomb. Watch for Favola. Launches himself. No mark. Loose at the back. Here's Betts. Can he pick it up? Yes, he can. Can he kick a goal?
Yes.
Yes, he can. Blues lead. He's got 3.
He's a dangerous
Dangerous, Durham, but I tell you, they have been dominant out of the centre all night. But for the first 3 quarters, they kept kicking it into an outnumbered forward line. They're winning the ball out of the centre now, and they have got an absolute chance to make something happen. They don't have to mark it. They just win the ball to the ground. What they don't want and haven't got this quarter is the big 31 in the Essendon colours just being the third man up, clearing it at will.
Kudafiti's 3 centre bounce, 3 clearances this quarter. Clearances 8-4 in favour of Carlton. Possessions, Carlton have had 46 and Essendon have had 21, so they're just belting them with the ball.
This could be the second best comeback, Carlton versus Essendon in the Blues history. They're in front. 5 goals in 17 minutes of final quarter football to Carlton.
Bird's on and gone forward. So first time for the night, he's playing essentially flank forward pocket.
It'll be the Blues' 3rd best comeback from 3-quarter time deficit ever against any team. What a night, but the Bombers go forward. Johnson overruns it. Stevens, McVeigh for Essendon, squeezes the kick out wide. Mark Johnson's had a great night, needs to do something here, just gets it forward, was it 15? And will it be 50? No.
Get up.
Gee, it mustn't have been too far away from a 50-metre penalty.
Montfrees, the only thing is, did it go 15?
No, that's standard play.
Okay.
Mate, how can he stop?
There's a split between you two tonight. Excellent.
Excellent.
Montfrees.
Short on here.
Goes short, and he finds Murphy a thumping kick inside 9 minutes left. The Bombers led by 28 points at 3-quarter time. They trail by 3. A 31-point turnaround at 3-quarter time. Big Sticks go down with scratch in his head. Lucas thumps it to the goal square. Big mark required for the Bombers. Johnson over his head! Has kicked a miraculous goal! His 3rd, Bombers back in front.
It's a good game of footy, Durham. It is a real good game of footy. He's had a good night, Mark Johnson. He had a hell of a battle with Matty Lappin. This is just, I'd put this on the highlight reel if you wouldn't mind. Just bang one over the head. Lappin was right there with him, right beside him, but not good enough to stop him from getting boot the ball.
The one thing you'd have to say, it is not... They've got to kick probably 3 more goals, Carlton, to win, because Carlton, Essendon, they're going to kick 3 more like that.
Mark Johnson, 3 goals, 23 possessions. None better than this one. The long ball comes in and he makes something out of nothing. Amazing, though, when you claw back a big lead, sometimes the mindset shifts. A run of goals from the Blues. They put it 5 in succession, and suddenly the Bombers out of nowhere plucked one. Down goes French, tackled by Henneman. And another ball up.
The minute they hit the front, Dennis, they get a goal back.
Funny.
It happens often.
That's right.
I tend to think that Carlton are still coming pretty strong. I don't think they'll be deterred by that one.
Prendergast, Jason Johnson, wide. Welsh, leaders in the clear, goes down towards half-court, going to their strength. Lucas had it knocked away that time by Norman. Out towards the boundary and out of bounds. The next goal very important. If the Bombers can get it and suddenly the margin gets back to 9, there's some stability there.
Wonderful night for Lucas. He bombed that one in as well, apart from his 6 goals, and he's been the go-to man all night.
Terrific. Prendergast in front. Koutafidis against the boundary line. Left foots it, hugs the boundary. In fact, it floats out.
I'm going to send a doc to Andrew Welsh. I want to send him to after the game, find out what disease he's got.
No one picks him up.
Love it, Murray to Welsh. Kicks well inside the forward 50 this time. Barnaby from behind launched himself and takes the mark. French plays on immediately. Carazzo thinks about it. Props. Comes back across the goal face. Cupido right in this. Camporelli's in front. Cupido steps around him and the ball is out of bounds. What an anticlimax with Solomon just lurking.
Have a look at the young fella there. Wide-eyed, why not? A massive crowd here at the MCG for Friday night football. It's Essendon and Carlton. The Bombers by 3 points. As you can see, 7.5 minutes left. Plenty of time in this game. Throw in deep in the Bombers' attacking zone. They haven't had it inside 50 many times this quarter. Montfrey's got the handball out. Intercepted by Stevens. Stevens kicks over the head. Whitnell wants it further afield. It's been picked up by Davies. Davies now gets the handball working up the line. Oh, it's bounced off Lappin Shin over the line and out of bounds. So throw in on centre wing.
Davies just came on, replaced Prendergast, who should have been the man with Welsh. So Davies just made it blue, just mishit then.
Andrew Welsh, 29 disposals tonight, a career best. And the inside 50s this quarter, 10-6 Carlton's way. 5 goals to 1, but the Bombers back in front by 3 points. McPhee in amongst it. The ball spills out wide. Jason Johnson's been good in the clinches tonight. McGrath for Carlton. Welsh got a good bump there to McPhee, but the kick is over the line now, bounce on the full. So Carlton will pick it up on centre wing with 7 minutes exactly left on the clock and a 3-point deficit facing them.
Been a terrific game. Lappin. And still so much to play for towards the forward 50. DeLuca was up, couldn't hang on. Davies crashed the pack. Wiggins touched off the boot. Wanders inside the forward 50. Taken by Waite. Whitnell runs into the open goal and slots it for number 4.
I tell you who I like, Dermot. I tell you, the boy DeLuca, he might be something. Because he has a big jump at the foot. He doesn't have to mark it. He just caused a spill. This broken record of mine will continue. Dustin Fletcher's got an opponent this quarter who's happened to kick 3 goals. And his other mate, who was also struggling with Dustin, has kicked 2. The 5 between them.
Well, the lead has changed 4 times in the last 6 minutes of this game. Carlton back in front. 6 goals to 1 this term. Lance Whitnell has kicked 3 in the final quarter and 4 for the night. Hurd crashes through. Peverill gets the kick high up in the air. Welsh thumps it forward. Teague for Carlton. Picks up, gets a shepherd from Koutafidis. Handballs it off to Houlihan. On the overlap, it's Stevens who's been busy in the last 5 minutes out wide to Waite. Waite on centre wing.
DeLuca's with Lovett Murray. It's a big mismatch.
Scotland.
What about the bravery from the Essendon box? They put young Cartledge into the centre square for the rucking contest in these dying minutes.
Stevens to Scotland, who goes long. Favola from behind, but a beautiful mark has been taken there by the skipper. James Hurd amongst 3 huge blues. Whitnell was there, DeLuca was up, Favola from behind, and it was the captain who stood firm. He gets it out to Lucas, now it's over the top. The young man in his first game, Tristan Cartledge, he stopped and propped and ran into trouble. Back to Lucas, all sorts of trouble. Favola's tackle was a beauty. Peverill gets the handball going. He misses Kepler Bradley. They're going backwards. The Bombers forced it back 50 metres so far. Favola threw it back. He thinks he's playing rugby union. That's a free kick. What a pressurised result for Carlton there. They forced it back 40 or 50 metres. She's excited. We're all excited.
They got numbers ahead of the ball. Carlton, they should
Davies,
score.
Stevens, DeLuca!
Oh, he's a big fella, this boy.
Oh, you called it.
He's a big man.
What you want me to say?
He's a big man.
They had numbers ahead of the ball. Normally you look at the back lines and they have the extra numbers, but Carlton, recognising the pressure they're putting on in that passage of play, had a couple of boys just run ahead, and you see them there. They're urgent. They know they're on.
Wow, big Adrian DeLuca kicked 2 goals in the first term. This to really put the acid on Essendon to make it 9 points. Best seat in the house on Friday Night Football. He is 20 metres out directly in front. Carlton lead by 9 points. 3 goals to Adrian DeLuca. 7 goals to 1 in the final term. Carlton have come from 28 points down at three-quarter time to lead by 9 with 4 minutes and 42 seconds on the clock.
This is the play. The pressure on the other side of the ground. They pressurised the footy back from the centre wing, had Essendon running backwards until the free kick came in the end. And DeLuca on Lovett Murray is something that, maybe they've got not much else to do or to turn to Essendon, but he just lost him again, Lovett Murray.
No doubt young Cartledge will be wiser. 16-13, 16-4. A real test now for the Bombers. Stevens showing no mercy. Goes to White across half forward. Spears the pass in for Bowler. At full stretch. They're irresistible now.
Again out of the middle. They have been dominant and superb out of the centre. Is the Carlton boys.
Well, you would think now if he's got any petrol in the tank, James Hurd's ability to find the ball at stoppages, you would think after this, if he pops this through, he's got to go into the centre square just to accept you're going to be exposed in your back line, but they have to win the ball out of the centre.
I think it will be too late. If he kicks this, it could end the resistance. Margin is 9. A goal here, it's 15. And the Blues finishing all over the top of the tiring Bombers. For Bowler, just as likely to boot it. He's got 2 so far. The unpredictable is very much in the bag he brings every night and day to the footy. Well, it was a good build-up. There goes the kick towards the pocket, off hands, and across the line it goes for a behind. So 10 points the difference. 3.5 minutes to go. He can't believe it.
Down the middle, Fletcher, a breaking McPhee on for the second kick.
First rush behind of the night. Crowd tonight, 56,446.
It won't be short here. Well, he hasn't got any options short. He's going to have to go long.
They have to go for the doctor. They have to kick 2 goals in 3.5 minutes. But Big Barnaby in game 100, he started a bit shakily, but he has steadily improved, and that was a pressure cooker mark. He can go wide and does. McGrath, early to wind the clock down just yet, but they're full of running, Carlton, and the Bombers are back on their haunches at the moment as Carazzo comes up from the back pocket to take the mark. 56,446 people tonight, and millions around the country on Friday Night Football have seen Carlton perform their 3rd best ever comeback from three-quarter time if they can hang on and win. Their 2nd best ever against Essendon. Hurd, can he conjure something? Out to Fletcher. Inside 3 minutes, Bombers have got to kick 2. They have to go for the doctor now. McPhee flicks it out wide to Lovett Murray. Lovett Murray wider still out towards the half-forward flank. Pepperell's got it. Around the body he goes. It's 2-on-1 here. The Bombers have got it. Lucas has kicked. Play on!
Oh, well, did he call it straight away? That's the question. I reckon Brian Sheen didn't call this.
That's okay. He was off.
He didn't call it straight away, and then he called it.
More importantly, did he hear the whistle? Did he blow the whistle to say the mark was there? You're obligated to play on if he doesn't blow the whistle quick enough.
Hurd. Grab, tackle, beautifully done by Scotland. And Teague, ball up. Well, we'll have another look at this one in a moment. As you can see, Lucas is going off his head. 6 goals tonight. It's been his night. He took the mark inside 50. It was probably the last roll of the dice. He took the mark.
Yeah, he blew the whistle.
That's not play on.
He did blow the whistle, though.
Oh, please. He hardly even steadied himself. Gee whiz. When a game's this tight and hard, there's a chance for the Bombers, though. Oh. Well, that one was just the mark, but Bradley's got it. And the clock will stop at about 1:45 if he blows time on. Now, he's slow on the whistle here, the umpire.
I think that squares the ledger, Ed.
Still got to kick it.
They've got to get going. He's only kicked one career goal, Kepler Bradley. Time is ticking away. He's got to get it and get it through quickly. To make the difference, 4 points. Bradley comes in. It floats, it floats, it floats. It's a goal. It's kicked it. There's still a chance. The Bombers, it's a 4-point lead. Kepler Bradley. The NAB rising star from last week gives the Bombers one last roll of the dice. That man, James Hurd's got to be in the picture.
He must get in the middle, Ed. He must go into the middle now, James Hurd. They have to win the ball out of the centre. And he goes in. He goes in. McPhee, Hurd, Cartledge, and also Bolton.
And Carlton throw them back. They had actually 6 in the centre square at one stage, Carlton, and now they push them back behind the footy. Oh, it's a big break, big centre break. Carlton been superb out of here all night.
8-man forward line. Essendon have made sure there's no loose Carlton defenders.
Still plenty of time. Rucks go at it. Cartledge knocks it down. Bolton, they need to keep the ball going goalward. Chopped off though by Scotland. Back towards the half-forward line for the Blues, but it opens up. Good effort. The man who got the goal, Kepler Bradley's away. Penetrating kick inside the forward 50. Lucas in front. Norman in the nick of time. Fletcher off a step. Floats to the square.
Big man.
And he will stop and squat. No, he won't. Plays on. Boldly to the pocket. And Carazzo takes it. Carlton with the lead and the football. Carazzo goes in short. Scotland again. The clock continues to run. It's the enemy now of the Bombers. And again, it out wide. Camporelli. We're down to 40 seconds. One false move, though. And the Bombers have a chance.
Lance Whitnall's got side on. It's play on call now.
Both boxers riding it out. The high ball to the wing. One last roll of the dice. Houlihan in front. Monfrey's got him. Charging into the pack, Davies. Got a hand pass away. Stevens smothered off the boot. Comes to Welsh. He couldn't pick it up. Winderlick it was. Knocked out of there towards the boundary by Wiggins. Scotland running out of time.
This is it for Welsh. Over the line. Stop the clock with 9 seconds.
Oh, dear,
9 seconds left there. There's still time if the Bombers get it clear. Purchase on the ball and get a mark inside 50. This is it. 9 seconds. Nothing left for the Bombers. Cartledge goes up. Cooter got the tap. It spills to Albie. Welsh under pressure. Carlton are going to win it. Last kick for McPhee. He's got to get it away. No time. Siren goes. Carlton have had their second greatest comeback ever against Essendon to win. 28 points down at three-quarter time. They've had their third greatest ever comeback to win this game in front of 56,000 people. Let's hear the Carlton song.